Never mind.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerds with Dice. Tonight, we are playing Calling All Heroes, New Athenians, and you'll have to bear with me while I adjust the overlay a little bit. But our week normally starts on Sundays with the Gehenna Principle at 2 p.m. EST. Mondays is the Long Road Home on Mondays at 2 p.m. EST. Tuesdays is Rift's Ballad of Fates at 8 p.m. EST. Wednesday is Kingdom Hearts Dreams of Nobody at 1 p.m. EST with the Park Knockin' crew. Of course, Thursdays is this game, and Fridays should be Warehouse 15 at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, we have merch. You can find the link in the chat or by heading over to Nerds with Dice on Twitter and finding the link in the bio. All right, Kevin, take it away.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Calling All Heroes, New Athenians. Our group of heroes has been fighting an alien invasion that the world has already lost, and has discovered that the resistance might be more robust than they had feared, or more robust than they had hoped. Better than they had hoped.
Expected.
Expected.
Than they expected.
Yes. It's good to manage expectations. All right.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So, let's go around and give our brief introductions of each of our heroes so that people know what you can do. Starting with After Image.
Hi, yes, I'm Nerdy Titty, and I will be playing a Scarlet After Image Alvin, our legacy.
All right, and Ares.
Hi everyone, I'm Commander Pulsar. I'm going to be playing Parker Lau, also known as Ares, who is our protege, and yeah.
All right, Flux.
Hey folks, I'm Fox. I'll be playing Fox. Flux. I'll be playing the alien. She's an outsider. She shapeshifts.
Yeah, no kinks on stream.
She that's gimmick infringement, and you'll fit in nicely. Again, no kinks on stream. Anyway.
And Kuvo.
Hi everybody, I'm Jackie, better known as Death by Mage, and I will be playing Kuvo, or his real name is Ming Zi, and he's playing the Brain.
All right. So the group had assembled a meeting of local teen heroes. Teens seem to be not immediately affected by whatever has made the adults so easy to take over, which is most likely other adults. But it does seem that the head crabs that have been placed on many of the adult heroes and villains, bringing them under the control of the Greven, the alien invaders, you've seen some messages indicating that they don't really work on people under, 20. So, and you have now, in assembling a small group of teen heroes, you've come up with a plan to work with some of the teen villains to take out a supply ship that the Greven will be sending to the local area. But first, you came up with the plan, but before you could execute it, there was an interruption over the radio of someone calling themselves Acrisius Marshall, who is now who's told everybody to keep their ears peeled for more information, and has shown up by basically Kuvo's armor built a small teleporter, which summoned a being with the voice of Acrisius Marshall. See, I named him, and I should have Arcisius.
Can I say this out loud?
Arcisius Marshall.
Sissius Marshall.
It's Arcisius.
Okay.
Sound like that should be Arcisius, right?
Sissius, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's that my brain always goes
Sounds...
Arc and then stops. So Arc Marshall. That doesn't sound good either. Anyway. God, if that was your name, people just call you Sissy.
Yep, I was gonna say something about that.
Not if you're a big, strong director of Badge.
Well, if you're the director of Badge, they don't call you Sissy for long. Yeah. Anyway, is standing in front of you, Flux had run off to her ship with their friend Busy Izzy, the radio DJ, who thought it
Not
was to
busy,
make
is
out.
he?
After Image is still there, and Parker is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Arcisius Marshall says, the being that is Arcisius Marshall standing in front of you says, I don't have long in this form. This memo will destruct itself very shortly. But the teleportation protocol worked.
Okay.
Looks over at Ming and goes, good job, son.
And Ming salutes.
Don't. We're collecting information now. Pretty soon, we may need assistance in an attack plan, as the only forces left are similar to yourselves. There's not much
Understood.
we can do yet. Now we plan. We take advantage of what we can. I'll let you know when there's more.
Understood, sir. And I will relay our current tactical situation and also details that we've gathered.
Your armor notes a stream of data going out of him on some kind of weird wavelength, but cannot find too much about that info.
Right.
Yeah. But it does recognize the encryption as similar to its own. He goes, well, you're gonna want to stand about 3 feet away.
Stands back.
The being, which was dressed as a person in like a dark blue military uniform, starts to literally melt.
Yeah.
And then the substance, after it kind of melts into a puddle, begins to it quickly sublimates. It starts just like collapsing in on itself and then dispersing into particles.
That is the worst superpower.
All right. With that done,
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Parker has many questions. I have many questions.
Yeah. That's.
I think Parker would say that. It's like, Kuvo, I have many questions.
Yeah, ask them.
Yeah.
What?
Moxie Gunslinger, who is the southwestern Athenian, New Athens area here, goes, yeah, I got about 4 more. Sure, you can get some. Yep.
Kind of indicate maybe the teleporter. I'm like, when? And then why?
I had certain information sealed behind a mental block that would not allow me to access them until a certain situation was arisen. Therefore, the parameters have been met and the information is now accessible to me again.
Okay. But the trigger wasn't an alien invasion. It was a day into an alien invasion?
No, specifically there was a specific phrase that needed to be uttered in order for a situation like this to occur.
Okay, fair. That I get. Though
But I had no.
don't think we've
but
uttered
the memory
anything.
of that phrase was also not available to me, and therefore the only possibility for such a situation to arise is if I drew my own conclusion to reach that point.
Okay, it would have to be something that you thought of. Okay,
Correct.
that explains why it wouldn't arise in normal conversation. I've talked to you before.
What does that mean exactly? I don't understand.
You and I don't do normal conversations.
So we're conversing civilly and normally right now.
I'm going to say I've made my point.
Agreed. After image. The current plan was that everybody was going to amass early tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some time. You haven't checked in with your families or gotten a change of clothes. You know.
Parker would like to make sure his mom's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we'll deal with this later, one problem at a time. I really have been putting off going and checking on my family, my brother and stuff. So I need to do that, and anybody else needs that should do it now before tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right. With that, since the three of you are there, we will cut back to the ship, which is once again, though this time the camouflage keeps blinking in and out on it as the ship settles into the abandoned lot where it keeps heading back to. Last time, a signal was triggered from it. And this
Yeah.
time, it settles into the lot, and popping up into camera is Flux for the first time in a, let's say, couple of minutes, noticing that you are...
Uh-oh.
The ship has moved itself. And there is a glowing button on your dash that you've never seen before.
Okay, T, I need you to do two things for me, okay? Two things that I know humans are good at, all right? One, don't panic. And two, just hide behind this chair. Let's like shove her behind the pilot's chair. Just stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Go over. Like, kind of brace myself and put a single finger on top of the glowing button.
As you do, the button says, local door found. Open. Local door opener.
Local door opener. Boop. Hit the button.
The entire ship drops. Regardless of the inertial dampeners, the entire ship drops underneath the street. As ceiling above you is the remains of the building. Some of the remains of the building fall in. And you find a tunnel, perfectly sized for your ship, as though your ship fits perfectly in there. You come down through this tunnel for about 30 seconds before it opens into a massive cavern, where you see another ship just like yours. Except this one's entirely covered in dust.
Okay. Hey, T?
Pops her head out from behind you. Yeah?
Is that your spaceship?
No, I don't have one.
Cool. I have two spaceships. And I get up and head out of the ship to go investigate.
As you head out of the ship, it opened the cavern. There is a door.
Mhm.
And the door looks very similar to ones from your past. There's a hand pad and the telescoping iris door that is completely a bad design choice, but is what they went with when they built.
It's the style of the time, you know?
Yeah, it was the style.
Listen, it was very in fashion. Grebulons, man, they just...
It's good for keeping
Can't
seals.
dissuade them.
But T actually pulls out her phone and pops on the her flashlight. It is kind of dark in
good
here.
call. I'm gonna take wait, we had a name for them. My ELP. Here we go. I'm gonna take my ELP.
Your
And,
electronic laser projector. edged laser projections. I think.
Edge light projections is what
Gotcha.
you came up with.
Yes.
And I'm gonna flip it around so that it's kind of like a flashlight pointing this way, and hit a button on it, and like the area is bathed in, unfortunately, pink because it's the color it is, light, but it's light.
There are spider webs, and there's dust, but that's about it. There's like not much down here,
Yeah,
and there's that door.
I just I put my hand on the pad.
You put your hand on the pad, and you hear a voice in your mind saying, "Emergency protocols have been initiated. Dormant time is emergency protocols initiated. Access
I turn back to
limited, but granted."
T. You're sure this isn't your spaceship?
And the door starts opening behind you.
Oh, okay.
Inside is
shine
looks
my
to
light in
be
there.
a bit of a lair. Let me check something real quick. And in this lair is old things. Everything here is old, except for the technology that you somewhat recognize. The walls are wood paneled. There is a pair of very lovely chairs with a big old-fashioned radio and TV where the screen is about this big in front of the chairs, and next to both chairs is a bunch of balls of yarn. Things in here are not dusty.
I say hello in my native alien language.
When you do that, emergency protocols have been initiated. Abandoned discoveries. Repeat. Unknown user. Please provide context.
Okay. I'm gonna head as I kind of creep my way into it. Is there like a cockpit or like a pilot seat that I can move towards? Kind of a control panel or something?
In the other ship?
Yeah, in
this ship.
dusty ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orange ship, if you will.
Yeah. Inside this ship, it's much larger than your ship, but it's actually it's not larger than your ship. It's this one seems to be built into the surrounding territory. Like this ship is here, but has been built outwards down. There are
weird. Okay.
Yeah. And inside you see like when you walk in, you see an end table with a lamp and a doily on it, and a mirror. You see.
I wave at myself in the mirror.
The mirror is not dusty because the inside of this place is kind of clean.
Yeah.
And as you move through, T follows you. That's where we're gonna cut back mid-mystery to who would like to go home first, let's start with after image.
Okay. I'm good with that.
You get home in a flash.
Very
you get
infringement.
home
Careful.
in a moment. In a mere moment. The doors and the security protocols to your building have been initiated, but you do know how to get through them, and it's basically only by someone who is incredibly quick can put in the code fast enough to trigger the temporary opening, so that you and people with your power set can get in and out, though others would have a lot harder. You bypass the incredibly heavy... I need a fake metal. Quadamantium doors.
It's not bad.
One adamantium's not good enough. You need 4 quadamantium.
Quadamantium.
And inside is your grandfather. Comes and greetings us. We're safe here.
Oh, good. Good. I haven't been able to get back and check on you, but I'm glad to hear you're safe. And
Good.
Timmy got back and everything?
He's stressed, but he's fine. He's
Good.
asleep.
Okay.
I told him he has allergies and gave him some of the NyQuil.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
How's things out there?
It's not good.
I haven't been able to contact any of the old ones. Any of my fellows. Even our communicators aren't working anymore.
All long-range communication is down. We've
Yeah.
only gotten a little bit, a very, very little bit through.
But you made it back.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
It's
You
good.
know,
It's good to
Miss-
see you, Grandpa.
Good to see you too, Scarlet. I made your favorites. I knew you'd be hungry if you got back.
Thank you.
You go in and there's basically like a full breakfast buffet for you.
Yeah.
This reminds me a bit of the time of the Parallax incursion. And he goes into a story that is almost entirely unrelated to what is happening.
Yeah.
But happened in, the late 50s.
I think I remember hearing. I think Mom told me about that one.
Well, world not seen nothing like this in a long time.
I don't know if we've seen anything like this ever. They're using us against us. I don't know if they've taken all of them, but they've sure taken most of the adult heroes.
Most of the ones they see as a threat, anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, we did have contact with Inspector Spectre.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, it's hard to control his mind.
Honestly.
From what I understand, you can't put a hat on a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's... He's the only one we've had meaningful contact with.
Reports
And
have
somebody
been
from
spotted.
Badge.
What?
Some guy from Badge reached out.
What's Badge?
I don't know. I'm assuming they're some sort of government agency of some sort, but I don't actually know. He sure thought himself self-important.
That's probably a government agency then. I don't... You understand, if I could be out there, I would. But
I know. But I don't know if it would help. So far, it doesn't seem like they're trying to take the younger heroes. I don't know. But maybe it's something to do with those hats don't work on us, but... Or don't work as well on us, but... I've been feeling a little overwhelmed.
yeah. That's how you know it's working.
Yeah,
You're in the middle of it. Now's the time to step up.
I know. And there's one more thing. We're pretty sure that the person they're using as a proxy leader for our area is the Poison Prince.
I know. I know. That's part of why feeling useless hurts extra sharp right now.
Yeah, I know. I keep going over it in my head. Like, I think, you know, we're pretty sure that we're gonna have to take him down, and I've been going over every fight Mom's had with him, and I don't.
All the public ones, anyway.
All the public ones, yes.
Those
I
are
don't-
just the ones she's talked about with you.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can stop him.
I never could. But you don't have to. You're not fighting him. Remember, that's not him. He's a danger. But trying to talk to him probably wouldn't work now. I mean, you can fight him all you want, but generally you had to talk to get him to make a mistake, but this doesn't seem like his style, a thing.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know what I did, but this is...
I don't know if it was you.
Well, I'm sure the psychologist would say I was away too much. And that damn columnist that said super speed, blah, blah, blah.
Mom always thought he was jealous.
Maybe. I don't know. Your little brother comes into the room and gives you a big hug.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey, I heard you come in, and I'm so glad you're back. Is it? Oh, it's not over, is it?
It's not.
I can see the security protocols are still up.
Yeah, but we're working on it. But I need.
Grandpa
to
says
come.
I don't have to go to school.
He's right. You don't have to go to school.
Buddy.
Silver lining.
Priorities are set.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you to roll plus Savior to see how members of your legacy feel or react to your most recent exploits.
Alright.
Oh, here we go. Before rolling, ask the other players to answer these questions. Take a -1 for each no. Has Afterimage been upholding the traditions of your legacy? Of her legacy, I
Well,
should say.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, what are the traditions of your legacy, really? Like, it's
Protection,
we know what your mom's
leadership.
like.
Going really
say the
fast
leadership
and
bit.
fighting bad guys. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Making
Like-
a bit of a spectacle of yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was that. There was definitely that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
you did literally
That's a
do
yes.
that.
Have you maintained the image of your legacy in a bit of a literal way?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no, it's you're literally trying to rally people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Has she made other members of her legacy proud?
Well, considering the conversation with Grandpa there,
The same,
it felt
yeah,
that
the
way.
conversation with Grandpa definitely
Yeah.
feels that way. Also, like, even when we were meeting with the other teen heroes, like, you know,
Yeah.
everybody kind of knew who Afterimage was and gave the respect for that position as well. So yeah,
Gotcha.
with the possible exception of Rebelmaker, who doesn't seem to have much respect for anybody, which is part of their deal.
Yeah.
further shtick.
charm.
So
Sure.
roll your savior.
I mean, that bad boy thing going on.
It's that bad boy charm.
I believe that is a. Yep, that's a 12.
Okay.
Nice.
So your grandfather goes, well, this isn't something we've talked about, but you can affect him. This is him offering you advantage or an opportunity that will come in the future. He's not as invulnerable as he likes to claim. You gotta... When he turns into a gas, you can't fight him directly. But I think his gas form might be magnetic. I've talked about it with your mom. She thinks I'm a fool, but I remember how Grandma's powers worked, and I think electromagnets might be able to kind of do something.
Okay. And then after Image is gonna like run upstairs real quick and come back down, and she has like a science textbook, and she's already got it open to the the part on like electromagnetism, and she's reading it super fast.
Gotcha. He goes, cover the part with magnetic or metallic gases.
Oh, right, yeah, will do. And she has the power to speed read and learn, so.
Gotcha. All right, and with that, we will cut to... let's go with Parker. Where's your mom and where do you and your mother live?
I'm going to.
You don't have to pick a block, but like.
No, but it's probably again. She was kind of in the secretary pool for an embassy, so upper middle class, maybe kind of a brownstone sort of situation.
Gotcha.
You know,
there's a lot of that in this town.
Yeah, and nice neighborhood, but not
so much that you'd leave a bike out front.
And and there's a certain amount of not wanting to take Dawn's money.
Yeah.
There's, okay, you can send my son to a very, very nice school, et cetera, but
yeah. All right, so this isn't the most expensive part of town, and things here are in lockdown. You actually have to go through a couple of checkpoints, evade. You can either evade them, or if you just ditch gear, you could probably talk your way through it. They are checking IDs and scanning people's faces, but they don't seem to be like detaining anyone here.
Are they checking rooftops? Can I go over these?
You do not see anyone actively checking rooftops. So yeah, you go over and around them to make your way.
Parkour and Batman style,
A patrol comes down. One of them extends its neck up to the top of the roofs just as you lay down, and it doesn't spot you.
Fair enough.
These alien invaders are all different types. They're all mostly humanoid, but some of them, they're all wearing, I believe I said, yellowish-orange armor.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way through. The city is kind of quiet, except for the sound of the occasional like floating hover ship that's flying low over the city.
Oh man.
There's no helicopters. There's no airplanes flying overhead. You can just imagine that the airport is. Your mom probably lives pretty close to the airport.
Yeah, fair enough. I like that.
So the airport, which you can generally hear all hours of the day, is silent, and it hasn't been silent your entire life.
That's eerie.
As you are as you are not, let's say, 20.
Yeah, that's eerie in a city. Just kind of like, that's Walking Dead zombie apocalypse eerie. That's just
Yeah, the birds don't seem to mind. There are still cars moving about. There's still trucks. People seem to be trying to figure out how to, buy and sell things, and people are trying not to freak out. Anytime people start like trying to break into places, it's not too long before a patrol comes by, and looting is not tolerated in the Poison Prince's city.
Okay.
They are loudly told this, and those who don't run end up getting like subdued.
All right. This is. So I'll probably wind up coming into the house like down the what do you
Down
call
an
it?
alley into a back window.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, side window of the house, not the front door by any means, and
Yeah.
just kind of.
You can hear your mom is listening to the radio. Kind of in the background. She is. It's late now. And she generally reads a bit before bed, or watches one of her favorite shows.
Parker is
not a late
normally
person.
like, yeah, Parker is normally like lithe and just smooth assassin, very quiet kind of
Yeah.
Batman. When he gets in the house, he kind of starts stomping around like a teenager.
The second you
Which
do,
he
she
is.
runs upstairs and opens the door. And the second you see her, you can see that her face is covered in her makeup has run a bit, but she has like straightened it up a bit, and she just comes over and hugs you so hard.
That's good, because that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's the whole point of him making noise, is that
Yeah.
that Mom, I'm home.
Mom comes up and gives
Buddy.
you the mommest of hugs. It's a bit awkward. She is a little. Is she the same size as you? A little shorter.
Maybe, yeah, probably they're starting to. He's starting to outpace her a little,
Gotcha.
and it's kind of just one of the.
Yeah.
I am so glad you're okay.
I would have said you should have called, but I don't think you could have. I've been
And-
trying to call you, but it didn't work.
Yeah, they mess with the communications like worldwide. It's all over.
I can't
This is
call any of my cousins or your aunts or my sisters or my brothers.
we
Can't.
are gonna try and fix it, Mom. We're working on it.
What is Loud doing?
Scrambling, probably. He was expecting to do the invading, remember? I'm sure the aliens are messing up his plans, something fierce. But I have talked to at least one person from Dawn, and they are going to work with us, so there's that. And they certainly haven't locked me out of any gear or anything, so
You can avoid these aliens, right? You can stay safe.
that's how I got here.
Yeah, don't. You know, this isn't your fight. You don't have to be out there. This is not what you're training for. She is attempting to move your labels.
Yeah, she is.
You can choose to reject her influence, but
I think I'm going to in this case because yeah, it's like it's not the fight I trained for. But I'm not a fan of the fight I've trained for.
Well, make the reject influence roll.
Mm-hmm.
Mass has mechanics for this.
Yeah.
Let's use them.
All right.
Where's? I thought I opened the basic rules sheet. Where'd it go?
you need me to
main
get you the
tabs.
basic moves I can.
No, I've got them.
Mhm.
They're on my computer. I just didn't.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I should probably pull those up.
Basic moves. I thought I
They're
had.
helpful.
Oh, there they are.
Sometimes.
All right. So you are attempting to reject someone's influence. So roll.
Mhm.
Just roll.
Okay, yeah, all right. There's just not
There's-
add anything.
Mhm.
Not
Yep.
add anything. Oh, geez. All right.
Yep.
And 8.
All right. On a
So
7 to
choose
9,
one.
choose one. Clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift one label up and one label down, your choice. Or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I'm not sure how I would immediately act to prove her wrong. here.
You
Though
would immediately is relative
okay,
here. I'm going to
or
say
at least,
immediately.
maybe just fill her in on things that I have already done, or
Yeah, you fill her in on like the things you've been doing, and all of this is just every time you tell her about something else you are doing, it it's like another weight hits her, and she wants you to stay home.
Yeah, I mean, you handled things fine at that checkpoint earlier and saved a guy's life, and you basically would just unload your day on her, I would think. So, no, I can handle
Yeah.
myself, Mom, because.
yes, yeah. I mean,
What's
yeah,
up?
we
She
Mom?
doesn't like hearing it,
we
but
saved
you
Mark.
say
We
it.
saved Mark Cephalo,
You did save Mark Cephalo.
That is a fact.
Yes, that is true.
and no, I mean, look, that's. I know what Master Lowe is training me for, but that's what Master Lowe wants. It's my training. I get to choose what I'm really going to do with it. And I have to choose every time.
I can't make you stay here, but as you're gone, I will be praying for you.
Okay. I can use all the help I can get. And
They
do me a favor.
Mhm.
I need you to be safe
my
for me.
they want me to come in to clean tomorrow. I think they're going to just act like not much has changed. It's not. Oh, not
worry.
come in to clean. That was someone else. They want me to come in tomorrow and handle things. I don't know
Okay.
what these lawyers think I can do without a phone. I guess there's always filing to be done.
Things that they don't want to do. Maybe
Do
you're
the
sick.
courts even work anymore?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't going to co-opt them. But just be careful, and if you have to get sick, come home, please.
I think actually I might be a little more at ease at work with other people.
Okay.
Then I won't be so worried
That's
about
fine.
you.
That's look. I'm out there doing this for you because I can. Because I want to hope that this is what Dad would do.
She says nothing to that. You do know their relationship was not always very smooth.
Yeah.
But you know.
I hope.
And with that, I think we will go cut to. The scene ends with your mom hugging you harder, and then being like, "I'll make you a sandwich." Cut to a basement where Kuvo is coming in the back entrance.
Yeah, Kuvo's gonna get out of the power armor, and there's like a convenient lab coat rack. Picks up one of the many identical lab coats that are there, puts it on, goes in and starts. I'm gonna assume Ashura links into the main system and everything.
As soon as you land, as always.
Yep, and kind of have everything up on display, and then kind of look up to the console and just say, Ashura, go ahead and start running tactical analysis. I need a full readout for tomorrow, for the next day.
Do you know the offensive capabilities of Roublemaker's team?
Do we? I think.
You've got a little bit of idea of people he might have gathered.
Then yeah,
Like at least one.
I'll start listing out teen villains
Into
right.
possible and likely, and their
Yeah,
connections to
possible and
Roublemaker.
likely.
With that is going to take a while to process.
Yes, understood.
And as you're sitting there, coming down the stairs is Daryl Singh. You don't turn around and see him yet. He goes, "Big guy, we need to talk."
What about? I don't look back.
Things have changed now.
Yes, Marshall did contact us.
Here's where the camera pans over, and you see he is also in a uniform of badge. Goes,
I assume your protocols have been initiated as well.
my protocols were never not initiated.
Have they been amended then?
No, you're my protocols. I'm sorry I'm sorry we helped you do that to yourself. I never sat well with me, which is why I took this assignment.
Yes, well, I understand why I had to do it. And it was necessary at the time.
Do you have any questions that I can answer?
And this is when Ming kind of actually turns the chair over and faces Singh.
He's looking at you with his arms crossed like a little... He's giving you this face.
Mm-hmm.
Concerned dad face.
Concerned dad face.
Is what I think of it as. He's not your dad. And he knows
Yeah.
he's not your dad, but he's giving you concerned dad face.
You're not my dad. You can't give me that face.
I know where my dad is. 6 feet under and 2 towns over.
And give me that face.
Jeez.
I'm not obligated to accept it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Like, that's fair, yeah.
And Ming kind of looks over at Singh. I do have a few questions, but I assume one of them will definitely not be answered.
I'm going to be as honest with you as I can.
How much of my self did I put away in the last protocol?
After the event, you were not handling it well. And the director saw an opportunity, as he always does. He gave you a job to do, and it helped you kind of pull yourself out of the spiral of what you had done. A mind like yours can't sit with what it's done. It needs something. And so we hired you officially to create scenarios. We never expected them, but this is why the director is the director. His broadcast went nearly worldwide, and that's thanks to you. The plans were inspired by the things you came up with in that think tank session. We just need more information now, and it's starting to trickle in thanks to several people we have around the world. How much of you got locked away? You wanted to lock away more of yourself than I was comfortable with. so I made them scale it down. You wanted to turn yourself into an unfeeling robot, and I won't let that happen. Because you don't get to make that choice when you're that young. And you don't get to make it now.
I think that's when there's like so Ming is completely remaining stoic in his facial expression.
Yeah.
But internally he is definitely, there is a little hint of being angry. And
Do you have any conditions?
I do. I have anger and insecure still. And so for that brief moment, you can see one of Ming's robotic arms just like start breaking the arm of the chair.
Buddy.
And that's when Ming kind of gets up. I understand that you care for my well-being, but I need to do this.
I'm not trying to stop you from doing what you're best at. Thinking of answers, finding solutions. I'm just telling you that there's a cost that is too far. That any solution that doesn't involve you being around to find the next solution is unacceptable.
With that, we are in agreement. My expiration would be inconvenient and would serve no true purpose. However, I do need to do whatever is necessary to be as efficient as possible.
You are as efficient as possible. You might have thought of yourself as being more efficient when you were young, but you weren't. You were just faster. Your product was worse. Look what it did.
And I think the shot pans to like kind of just like that where Ming's face is kind of blurred out and the focus is shifted to Ashura in the background.
Yeah.
That's why I kept Ashura as a reminder of my failings.
It wasn't a failing, it was a mistake. They're different. You're going to make more mistakes. Just make sure that you can handle the costs. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. If you need to contact Badge, I can do it. Bad needs to contact you. They will.
Understood. I actually had a suggestion for Badge.
Is it a better acronym? Because I've been trying to pitch them one for years and I just can't think of a good one.
Unfortunately, no. Naming conventions are not my foray.
Well, what is it? I'll put it in the suggestion box.
So Ming walks over to the console, kind of pulls up like the half-made battle plan. If we are indeed to repel this alien invasion, a large scale opposing force would be necessary to be fully organized. So, with that in mind, if we were to do a live broadcast feed to other heroes around the world in a simulcast, then perhaps we will be able to not only inspire other heroes who are in hiding, but also possibly give additional tactical coordination for others.
That's what we're doing now. The thing is, the territories are so segmented from each other. There's literal lines that they carved into like through streets, through highways that they now control. Anything they don't want to leave a territory isn't going to make it out.
Fair
But
enough.
we're working on something right now. We need a little more information.
I think this is where Ming is going to come up with a new communication device.
Okay.
And what it's going to be, it uses so Ming's going to go through this long-winded explanation of quantum entanglement,
Mhm.
and then utilizing basically different pieces that can be interconnected, that are technically the same individual atom that's been split across multiple locations, and because they're quantumly linked together, they will never lose connection.
Yeah.
And so he goes through this whole process, explains it, and about maybe 2 hours later, he finally gets into actually explaining how to manufacture it.
This is the tricky part. We'll be getting the manufacturing information and the entangled quanta to the proper places. That's going to take time, but I'll get someone on it. Also, you invented most of this already, but you've taken it to another level.
It does feel familiar. I sense that.
Yeah. We're basically using the beta version of whatever you just created to communicate, and it works pretty reliably, but not very quickly.
I think if we also adapt some of the power sources that we've acquired from observing the invading forces technology, we can probably retrofit some of it to also power these communicators and build larger scale ones.
Well, that sounds useful. That sounds excellent. We will continue investigating that. I know I've got one of my colleagues is working on what he calls an exciting exobio solution. And I don't know if he means a liquid or not, and it's terrifying me.
Interesting.
But that's not your area.
No.
I'll get you his notes when this is all over.
I would be very fascinated to read it. And
right.
This is when Ming, kind of before the scene panels, he actually eats the breakfast that Sing left since earlier today.
Oh, buddy.
This is him. This is a bit of him attempting to move your, influence you. He is trying to make you less of a freak.
Mm-hmm.
And he might actually want you to be more of a savior.
Oh, more of a savior, eh?
Because, like, you can do this. You can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be so weird. Well, don't be so weird you hate yourself.
Kids.
Don't be so weird, they say.
Don't be so weird that you hate yourself.
He wants you to feel more. He wants you to feel more like what you feel is normal, but that you are also capable of assisting the world.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, I can let that happen.
So I
can accept that.
Okay.
So so that means my savior is now up to the max of 3.
It's not until halfway you are through the sandwich that you notice that it is a different sandwich than was there this morning.
Oh, this is not the same sandwich you made this morning.
I know.
This looks about
you don't let Thousand Island dressing sit for that long. I heard you come down. I put the sandwich behind you.
And Ming kind of looks over and gives like the most smallest of smiles and says, "Thank you."
And with that, we cut back to underground in the what I'm now calling the yarn ship.
Yarn ship.
you see another room up ahead. It goes
Okay.
down and opens up into a new space.
Sure, yeah. As, I pick up like one of the pieces of yarn, and like it's just very awkward. Like the turn around to the person who's following you, and you immediately put the light like right into their eyes. Like,
Yeah.
sorry. I remember this from class. I remember it was, and she like I take the hilt and I kind of like stick it here so it's kind of awkwardly balanced and grab one of the balls of yarn. I think it was like a, I don't know, like a Hercules thing or something. I go back to the
What
front
are
door
you
of the
doing?
ship.
What are you
Just
doing? That's
hang
someone's
on a
work in
second, hang on a second.
progress.
And
That's
I
half a sock.
I know, and I don't know. Human things are very confusing, but and I like tie a part of the ball to like the leg of the television that's in this room, and I walk backwards, kind of unraveling it. There. Now we can't get lost, like Icarus or whatever. Let's go. And I start walking deeper into the ship.
I think it's the Minotaur. And she walks behind you. Is that Theseus?
No, I'm pretty sure that guy was French. Walk, 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 walk.
I don't know. I haven't taken that class yet. I haven't taken classics yet. As you walk, you come to lights start lighting up your path as you walk
Ooh.
further in. These walls seem to be made of similar material to the ship.
Just, like, tap my little flashlight against it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Space metal.
And as you come through, you see a series of doors. There's 3 of them. You come to a T intersection, and there's basically 3 doors. Straight ahead is a double door.
Mhm.
To your right is what looks to be just like an apartment door, and to your left is another space door.
Ooh, okay. Let's hang a left through the space door.
All right, you go. The space door does not. The space door does not open right away. In your mind, you hear, "Emergency protocols have been initiated. Access to this area is limited."
I just kind of like mockingly back. Access to this area has been limited. Fine. Turn back to my compatriot. So you should. They always expect you to go forward. So you turn left. Keep them off your trail.
Okay.
You should probably go forward. Yeah. Yeah. That's a little space tip for you. If you ever find yourself in space. Anyway, and I just like.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, we should go sometime. And I just push through the double doors. You know, I'm from space originally.
I'll take it to your mom.
Yeah, you know, in space, there's just a lot of like stars and stuff.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
it's mostly like a brown void. But people think it's
Brown
black, but actually. To go through the double doors.
Yeah. As you go through the double doors, you come into a hall of mannequins.
Creepy.
Many of the mannequins are set up with costumes. They're different costumes, and there's a number of news articles on the wall. Picture after picture shows like the mayor giving the key to the city to the Maiden of Might, or the, oh god, I wrote it down and immediately forgot it. To the Mighty Maiden.
Mighty
You
Maiden,
see
yeah, Mighty Maiden.
another picture of the Mighty Maiden with a bunch of heroes standing on top of a pile of destroyed robots, looking triumphant, with a headline that says, "Mighty Maiden saves the street," and it's the Wolf Street Press. And you see a number of old costumes that the Mighty Maiden made, but then would wear a different one not too long later.
Are they knitted?
They are not knitted. They are sewn and whatnot. You
No.
do actually see a sewing machine down here as well. You see a bunch of bolts of scraps, or scrap cloth, and a whole bunch of, pieces and designs for new types of costume.
Flex is kind of losing her mind as she like weaves between and through all this stuff. So her nice straight, yarn of Theseus going back to the door is now like winding around in between mannequins and around this table or whatever. As she just sort of like goes around the room looking at all this stuff and then eventually turns back to T. It's like, my maiden, She's from
Mighty Bean?
space. Yeah.
What?
I think. Well, right? Like, okay, well, why is all this stuff in the ship? If it's in a spaceship, it looks like my spaceship, but it's made out of my space metal. Ting, ting, ting. I tap the floor. But like, this is so cool, right?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Come on. We gotta find more stuff. Are there any other exits out of this room?
No, there are no more other exits out of this room.
Ah.
So you can go back. This looked to be the craft room and the like kind of trophy room. You see a number of bits of like broken robot in a case. Like your classic sci-fi 50s robot with its eye smashed out.
An exceptionally small penny. Like, oh,
Yeah,
so tiny.
just the smallest penny with a T-Rex on the penny.
Yeah, I take all this in and then dash back out into the hallway.
All right,
We
there's
gotta go
one
check
more
out that
room.
other door.
Yeah. You open the other door, and it's dark in there, but there's a light switch. Just a light switch on the wall.
Flick.
You
No
flip this
hesitation.
on, and it's basically an apartment. You see a number of coats from the 40s, or not 40s. Well, yeah, 40s. From the 40s and 50s. You see, it looks like you see a kitchenette and another little living room. But this one doesn't have a TV. There's a little library with a number of books, and a pair of easy chairs, and 4 slippers, like 2 next to each easy chair, and it looks like there's a little bedroom off the way.
I guess that makes sense. She would need to sleep and eat because that's humans. It's you guys do that at pretty regular intervals. It's 3 eats and 1 sleep every day.
I mean,
I
it doesn't
remember
have to be
this.
3 eats.
Well, it should be. You're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Eat 3 times a day, as
I
is required for humans.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a pyramid. You need to understand. We don't have time for the pyramid.
That's government
you should know
crap.
you should know how your own species eats, okay?
I do know how my own species eats. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I just walk past her out of the room. Okay, so
you
what
walk
I was...
past her out of the room and into the bedroom, which looks to be. You see 2 vanities, one against each wall. You see 2 closets.
okay.
You see a bunch of personal pictures here of a woman that looks kind of like the Mighty Maiden, and an African American woman holding hands.
She was very friendly.
Yeah, I bet they were great pals.
Well, this is not very helpful, but I was really kind of hoping. I kind of like turned back, and I'm just like, on my head.
This is two old ladies worth of jewelry.
Best
Yeah,
friends.
they were probably living together.
Yeah.
Humans cohabitate, right? Yeah, you guys. That's how you make little humans. I
There's one
remember.
bed.
Well, that's
You don't-
probably where they had sex. Yes.
Yeah.
To make more humans. It's.
Maybe you don't understand the word pals, I suddenly realize.
I'm very friendly with people. We're pals, right? They were pals. They were probably more than pals.
Has anyone
I
told
bet
you
they were-
about subtext yet?
Subtext.
Never mind, you
I
were
re-
saying?
I
You
remember
are
hearing a thing about-
underground.
I remember hearing a thing about subs, but then somebody told me that they would tell me what that means when I'm older, which is very confusing. But I don't worry about it anyway.
I mean, sandwiches. They mean sandwiches.
So I kind of tossed the ball of yarn behind me and like flump down on the bed a little bit, just kind of sit down. I was really looking for a control panel or something, or some way to like talk to the computer in here. Hey, stupid computer, where do I find you? Ugh.
You hear nothing while in the bedroom.
This is useless. Come on, let's trace our line back. And I like pick up the yarn and start following it back out to the hallway.
When you get out into the hallway, do you call for the computer again?
Yeah, it's like, hey, computer. The whole time, it was, computer, talk to me
As
in
soon
my
the
brain
second
again.
you cross the threshold of the apartment,
Mhm.
it connects to your brain. It goes, would you submit to a genetic scan?
Ooh, hi, hello, yes. My name, my identification, right? That's what you need, right?
Yes.
My name is Her Royal Majesty Princess, and I kind of like look at T. Kalindri Oblanes Bartniks, and I'm here. I've got yarn. This is my friend T. She's nice.
That
We're
name
pals.
is on the acceptable list.
T, I'm acceptable. This is great.
You have inherited all the goods and responsibilities
Ooh, I don't like those.
of Princess Dunicate Severgang. This is me just making noises now. Dunicate Severgang Oblanes Baran Oblanes Bartanix.
Who I am totally related to. Yeah, exactly. Great. I think I got my grandma's ship.
You not your grandma, but you do remember hearing very little about a great aunt that no one talked about.
Oh boy. Great. Can I go in the secret room now? Brain computer?
The armory is now open.
Oh, sweet. Weapons! Into the room.
Warning. Many of the items are unstable. Proceed with caution. Insufficient resources to conduct repairs.
Don't break anything. Fine. Fine. I'm pawing at the door now, essentially.
It opens right as you walk up to it. Like, as you're walking up to it, it opens. And inside, you see a gleaming armory, kind of. Except at least 3/4 of the stuff is missing. And in there is a robot about this big that looks up. It has the head is bigger than the rest of it. Its arms are very teddy bear. It looks like kind of like a metallic teddy bear. And it has nothing at all on its face.
I'll go give it a hug.
You've seen things like this before.
Oh, okay.
This is an assistant.
Ooh. RoboPal. Yes, excellent. Hey, quick inventory. What do we got? What do we got in here, buddy? I'm your new boss, by the way. Hi, Flux. You can call me Calendry or Flux, whatever. This is T. She's my pal. Anyway, what's in here? Okay, I was expecting more of a you talk to me kind of thing, but I guess that's not really your scene. I'll just figure out what it is on my own then. Thanks. You keep up the good work, Chrome Dome? Chromie. You can be Chromie.
My current designation is Ted.
Oh, Ted. Chromie Ted. Excellent, Chrome Ted. All right. Love you. Never change. Now. And, like, I go immediately to wherever the nearest gizmo is and pick it up off the wall.
All right. You took a new move.
I did.
Called Belong in Two Worlds. That says you have the resources that come with your station.
Mm-hmm.
What you find on the walls is the resources that come with your station.
Okay, I got you.
Yes. When you have a power, and this is where the pieces of your power might come from.
Okay.
It has a number of ceremonial weapons, a number of communication devices, some other things you might find useful that allow you to mimic ability from another playbook, should you get to.
Yeah.
You now have Bag of Tricks from Belong in Two Worlds.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, having to explain them might make people uncomfortable, and might have other demands on you.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things are psychoreactive, and will come with conditions to use.
Okay.
Which is another part of this power, because on a miss, hold one, but your people make an uncomfortable demand of you.
Sure.
So this will be something your people would have, like, needed you to give up in order to use certain things. Certain things might cost life essence.
Okay.
Certain things might cost others life essence.
Okay.
There is one. It is a gun that requires a secret.
Jeez. Okay. All right. I mean, did you want me to go ahead and roll on this then? Make some
Uh,
hold, or?
It's whenever you contact your people, so it's when you would need something like this. There will be a payment. Also, Ted goes, the transmission has been sent. Reception
Oh.
expected in, and gives you a time that is in galactic.
Yeah.
Which is not as far away as you thought that a message sent to your people would take.
Okay, that's soon. Okay.
Is it?
Well, it makes sense if you're not from Earth.
Can I draw a face on him?
Yeah, go ahead. Like, no, yeah, okay. Somebody needs to, honestly. Okay, well, I'm gonna pocket some of this stuff, and then we should probably, shut the gang now. They're gonna want to know about this cool stuff.
Sorry about that. All right. So is like, this is from your planet, or do you?
It's from a planet, yeah. It's
Did
from
you
a planet.
live on a planet?
I totally lived on a planet. It had crystal mountains and like 3 moons. It's the planet of Galdor.
Majesty.
That's from the song. You're playing an Earth trick on me. You're trying to get inside my head, Earthling.
Well. Anyway.
Sails right over Flux's dome.
Yeah.
And she's like fiddling with some kind of cube.
It's like She touches one of the things and it growls. She goes,
Oh!
okay.
No. That's you are not a Phylexian. You should just kind of pushing away. You should not touch that. That is going to be a bad time for carbon-based life forms. Don't touch that. They're silicon-based. It's cool. Well, it's weird. Well, they're actually really rude. But just don't touch that. It'll be fine. Probably.
This is so much. I mean, it's really cool. This is a lot.
It is, and you know, like some of this stuff. I mean, I definitely know what all these things in here are. Honestly, I've royalty like me. I see weapons all the time.
You're royalty?
Yeah,
You
I'm
said
a
you're a princess.
Yes, I'm Her Royal Majesty, Princess, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, that's
Like-
me. I come from space. Yep, royals
So
from
you're
space.
like part of a monarchy that just rules by fiat?
Fiat. Okay, so that's a really expensive word, but I have. I mean, my mom is a queen. If that's what you mean, and I mean, I do not like. Is fiat bad? Do we not like fiat?
Well, you're
Isn't that a kind of car?
it's yeah, but like it also means just by like a dictator.
Oh no! They're not dictators. They're royalty. They just have they have absolute power. It's different.
How?
Well, there's crowns and really expensive clothing. Oh, there's a royal palace.
And who makes the expensive clothing?
The expensive clothing makers. They were gonna marry me off, so like I mean I really feel like I'm kind of the victim here. Actually, so that's why I came to Earth. I'm not. I mean, it's not like I'm really a princess here, right? I'm Flux, I like zoom out my sword, superhero, to all the children of Earth. Huh?
This is
Sweats.
I need to breathe. Are we breathing air?
Yeah. No, it's Galdor it's an oxygen-rich atmosphere. That's how I knew it could come to Earth. Your physiology and mine, like, self. It's great.
I would have made a joke here about 20 minutes ago, but now I'm a little stunned.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just like putting things back onto the shelf. You come here. We're gonna follow our cord back out of the ship, I think. Yeah.
It's one hallway.
So it is. Stupid Icarus.
He had wings. I know that much. And she kind of, you know what? Does anyone have anything else they're doing tonight? Because I think this scene needs a little more, but I don't want to cut the rest of you out. But I don't think it will be much longer. So, so I'm just gonna keep going with it unless anyone has anything specific they want to talk to. All right. So, she gets up onto the street level and goes outside of your ship, which is now in complete stealth mode. And is like, so, yeah, I like you a lot.
Oh, thank you. I think you're pretty great too. We are pals. Earth pals.
But
I like the part where we kissed. Actually, that was really fun. I've never done that before. You know, you're pretty good at it.
She blushes. And there's a moment where she's like, "Listen, I'm not a princess. I don't have a fancy ship. I just have a radio show."
Oh,
And,
I get
like-
this. I get what this is. I've seen this before in humans. This is a superiority complex thing, right? You're worried that I am your superior, probably because I come from space, and definitely
I'm
because I
worried
have
that
a
you
long
think
time.
you're my superior.
Oh no! Oh geez! Oh wow! Oh boy! No. Okay, humans.
Humans. That's part of it.
No. I mean, I can't. It's not. As I'm like panicking, looking around.
Listen,
Okay. Let's sit. Let's sit in these chairs. These chairs are great. All right. Let's right here. Yeah. Let's just sit. Let's just talk for a second. Okay. I'm only sort of a princess.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. My mom is a queen. That is
Uh-huh.
technically true.
Yeah.
Technically. But I'm not entirely from Galdor, which does have a what's that word used? Dictatorship. With a king and a queen.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. I'm not actually from there. I'm a spacefaring. My people fly through space. I was
nomads?
born on the well armed ones. Yes.
So like pirates?
And I just shrink down in the chair and just make a noise.
But like you're running away from them and like
I mean, okay, so to be fair, they were still trying to kind of marry me off. It's a weird thing. Mom thinks I'm like hers to kind of do with whatever she wants, and she tried to marry me off to this guy. He's a real butthole. Checks notes. Yeah, this guy working for the coal conglomerated holdings. Dorcas Grimgar. Whatever. Not
seriously?
really into
Dorcas?
Dorcas Grimgar, right? I'm telling you, I don't know how this guy ever got his commission with the conglomerate, but
There's like
Your
older
name, right?
dude?
oh god, honestly, I just saw the name and then bolted the next day. So no, it's not that I think you're better than me. I think it's actually the other way around. I think Earth is pretty great, actually. You guys, there's this thing about Earthers where it doesn't matter how overwhelming the odds are or how hopeless a situation. You just have this like boundless capacity to stand against what you know is not right. You constantly want to go out into the universe. You send these cute little probes out. I saw one on the way in, and it was going beep. And it's like, yeah, it's hopelessly under advanced, but damn it, you're trying, and that's pretty cool. And you guys make hamburgers, and anyway, I think Earth's pretty great. I think you're pretty great, and I think being a royalty, even pirate royalty, isn't really all it's cracked up to be, honestly.
Well, I mean, I know way more about aliens than I did this morning.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's like for me
Or
every
yesterday?
day.
I don't remember.
It's been
Like one
wow.
day.
Yeah, it's been a very long day. But yeah, that feeling right there where you learn more about aliens every day or today or whatever, that's my everyday. Like I get to be here with you guys and I learned a lot. Like kissing. I learned I like that quite a great deal. And I would hate to
Blushes
do
again.
anything I would hate to do anything that would jeopardize that. So,
Don't.
that's the truth.
All right. I have to go home,
Sure, yeah, totally.
and I want to see you again.
You will. Well, I mean, my ship's invisible, but
Well, also, you're in my art class.
I'm also in your art class.
I knew it was you.
Oh.
You-
Yeah, I'm not very good at. You know, I'm a shapeshifter. Technically, I'm not very good at.
well,
Hiding.
you didn't change your nose. You have a cute nose.
Just like looking at my nose and like shifting.
Don't,
it through
no,
different
don't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just
snaps back.
I just recognized it, but that's because I spent a lot of time looking at you.
Earthers find noses sexy.
No,
Interesting. Thank you.
no,
No?
no.
But you just.
Your nose is cute.
I can't really see it. Anyway. Thank you. Wow, this is super weird and awkward. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
yeah, you should. I should go. We should go. If
This
you
is
need
your
to...
place. Like, this is where you live, apparently.
And I kind of like look back at the ship, the second ship. Yeah, I guess so.
That's pretty cool. Mighty Meat was an alien.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
She was a Galdorian, no less. Huh. I didn't think they ever got off world. Good for them.
She grabs your hand,
What?
writes a phone number on it,
Oh, my
in
skin.
a gel pen.
Ow, ow.
And says, "When your phone works, just put this in there, and you can call me. I'm gonna go make sure the radio station hasn't been like exploded."
Yeah. Be safe. Okay?
She makes to walk away for a second, but then steps into you,
Aw.
and there is a kiss.
Oh.
It is like a teen movie. This is not stuff I'm good at describing. So,
As I kiss her, we don't see below frame, but like we can tell because the camera's moving up that we're floating slightly, and then it snaps to a far shot, and like I'm doing the like floating kissing thing.
perfect. She is trying. She, I'm gonna say, has some influence over you.
Sure.
What? Let's see. She is going to up your superior and lower your mundane.
Okay.
Or up your what is higher, your superior or your freak?
My freak is a 3, my superior is a 2.
All right. Then actually, she wants you to be more normal.
Mhm.
So I'm actually going to tell you to up your mundane and lower your superior.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna oppose that. I think that Flux is a girl who does what she's told in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
By the people she respects from Earth. So yeah, no, I think that follows off of that conversation, 100%.
Good. All right. So with that, we will come back and open up on the morning when we come back. We're going to take a break.
Alright, we will be back
Cool.
in 10-15 minutes. So get up, drink some water, stretch, do all of the things, and of course, enjoy the music. See you then. Hello, everyone. We are back.
Welcome back. Our heroes kind of all checked in with their, let's say, homes,
Yeah.
Holmes.
Or equivalent. You know.
and we're gonna open up on the next day. Ares, you didn't sleep super well because you spent the night expecting to be contacted by Master Lowe. Master Lowe didn't contact you. Did not attempt to contact you.
Yeah, that would probably lead to lack of sleep and probably like a night patrol or just kind of like, okay, places where we have drop points and like emergency backup drop points and that kind of thing, which probably goes like 3 or 4 layers deep. But yeah, so yeah, the next morning is probably just the continuation of the next day. Parker probably hasn't slept.
No, you slept some because
Yeah.
you couldn't not, but it
It's
wasn't
just very little and not good. Yeah.
no, like you expected to have be woken up at a moment. You expected to have some message, and you get nothing. And that could mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
What does Ares or what does Parker think that means immediately? What's their first thought?
This is a test.
Okay,
Oh, buddy.
so
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say this makes you insecure.
I'm good
Yeah.
for that.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is that's me having your mentor still have
Oh yeah.
like interaction with you without being there.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of your mentor means something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, the after image you had the plan. Kuvo kind of organized which teams would probably be best in which places. You've got a little bit of time before the dropship is expected to start coming down, and you need to make your way to the your distraction point where you are making a distraction. Do you all gather up? And if so, where?
I mean, should we just meet back at the base then?
I think so. I think that
Okay.
works.
We can do that.
You all meet back at the base. That is underneath the warehouse. Inside the base, you left something overnight.
We did.
Oh, crap. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
Who's at the base first? Parker's at the base first, let's be honest.
Yeah, Parker.
Yep.
Parker,
'Cause-
you go to open the room to the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and you find yourself immediately entangled.
Okay.
And a being not wearing armor with octopus limbs, or I should say tentacles wrapped around your limbs, looks at you and chitters in a language you do not speak.
All right. Well, first of all, the entanglement is nothing new, so we'll try and counter some of that to at least be.
All right, this isn't a threat, so there won't be. I just want to see how well you do.
Yeah.
So give me a directly engage. This will not have negative. I'm not taking hard
Right,
moves
I-
on a failure here.
I mean, arguably, he also could be considered to be unleashing his powers because he's trying to overcome an obstacle.
That is true. You are overcoming an obstacle.
That's fair. I like
Dealer's
I like the idea of showing off his well. Let's see. Hang on. Directly engage is 1 point higher. No, I'm gonna use unleash, just because it's the moves and the martial
Yeah.
arts. It's an 8.
Okay. You do tell health effect is temporary or unstable. So you break their grasp, and you manage to kind of get them on the other side of the room of you.
Sure. It's
They
kind
land
of a-
with a thump and take a stance you have seen before using their limbs.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a stance you have seen Master Lo use against you.
I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Not enemies.
Not enemies. Cautious.
Cautious is fine.
More of your language.
Oh, sorry, I'm not the Flux is the talky one. I'm Parker. I'm also Aries. We've been calling you Mark.
Specifically, you have been calling.
Well, yes.
I am the arrow that hits the target.
Ooh, that's good. A bow of greetings, like pleased to
Your
meet you.
style is familiar.
I was thinking the same. We've learned many things. I've been taught many ways to fight.
Do you stand against the Abraxius and the Grevin?
Yeah. Yes, very much so. I hope that beads were okay.
It is my shame that I didn't beat them as well.
Oh. Yeah. No.
They are not what I was trained for.
No shame. The Abraxas got many of our adult heroes that I really look up to and way out of my depth here. Yeah, we could use your help if you're willing to. It might be traumatic to kind of relive some of that, but
So you're trying to pierce the mask a little, huh?
yeah, I think so.
I would, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am trying to figure this person out. And okay, yeah. I would be insecure right now.
Yeah.
So that's a 6. I'll go ahead and mark potential there.
Go ahead and mark potential. You don't understand. You don't.
Yeah.
Like, you've been told how to read some facial features and some body movement, but this is not a human.
I've not been taught to read octopus facial features.
Stare at that aquarium more.
Yeah. The
I've been taught to fight octopi, not
see how they feel. Yeah.
They do have real feelings.
Octopi are people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So
they
the
are.
move I'm
They're
gonna
actually
make
very
is
sensual.
Octopuses.
to keep it.
People too, rather.
Octopi.
Hold on. Where's it?
Octopodes are very clever.
This is. You're not fully trained, are you?
Excuse me. We're in whose house? We're in
Call that
my
out.
base.
Arguably.
And kind of no, not as fully as I'd like. No. And not as if I were fully trained as an assassin, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Shadowy hand. A blade in the dark. I've encountered such types.
Yes.
They are not what I was trained for. They are part of it. But I'm not.
That causes Parker a little concerned in the head. What do you...
But I'm not there anymore.
I don't
If the
know.
Grevin have cost me my planet, if the Grevin have taken me, and my world is destroyed beyond their abilities, then the rest of the universe might be in danger. I need to return to my planet.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy.
One of you can enter now. Who wants to enter?
Ming can enter.
Ming, you see the squid is still in a defensive martial arts position.
Ming looks over and assesses. I see it's awake.
Woof.
There are probably like sucker marks on Parker's face from the original grapple.
Ming, just as soon as you're fine.
Ming's not wrong, but it's still one of those. But Parker's also not in an equivalent like defensive stance. Will have probably calmed down to more of a ready position.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to say. So coming into it, I probably heard like maybe like some ruffling of conversation. And Ming's gonna just go.
Oh, when Ming enters, the cephalopod stance alters.
So Ming kind of looks over at Parker. Is this considered a threat, or is this just concern?
I'm the arrow that hits the target.
Also, mark. Hits the mark. The arrow that hits the mark.
I hate it. I love
More
it
of
and
your
I hate
language
it.
synonyms. Your people bleed mental energy.
So we have been told.
Noisy
We have.
minds.
We have.
Your minds are so noisy. Your people
Sorry?
are not psionic, are they?
Not inherently, no.
I am not.
We are not trained in the similar disciplines of other species outside of this planet.
There are some.
There are some, but not
These
many.
beings protect their minds much more strongly and are taught so. You have not been taught so. I excuse this for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
You may need to learn.
That I agree with it.
It didn't help me.
I see.
Why didn't it help me? It gets so angry, it basically lashes out and destroys like a training dummy.
It doesn't just attack your mind. I don't know if you can feel the spot in your neck.
It tilts down, and you can see that the spot has kind of healed over a bit. Yes, I've been focusing on it and regenerating certain parts there.
Yeah.
The poison was intended to kill me.
You're welcome.
How did you stop it?
Training of
We
other
ex-
things
we-
besides our minds.
We extracted the poison
Or-
as efficiently as we could with the equipment given.
With my biology, that would have worked. Yes, thank you. I appreciate your efforts. It does a little bow, but not so much as to make itself vulnerable.
Well, no.
Who else comes in at this point?
Oh, I'm happily walking on this scene. Oh, jeez. Oh, hey, Mark's up. Hey, Mark.
Arrow that hits the mark, actually.
I don't understand what that means.
That's
his
their
name.
designation.
Their name.
The arrow that hits its
Welcome to
target.
Earth. You're
Oh.
probably very confused because you just woke up on another planet, huh?
Galaxian?
Oh, wow, you know what I am. Okay, so I don't
I
know
have-
who you are.
I have studied your people.
Yeah, we have a bit of a reputation. Shapeshifters, you know. Never trust us. But hey, so you're doing okay on the whole language front, or you need to
Faster and faster.
faster and faster?
They bleed
okay.
thoughts. I can't help it.
Oh,
It's like they want me to speak their language so badly.
Ahaha. You guys have been thinking a lot, haven't you? Yeah, this guy's probably psychoreactive.
I like
Ming
to
looks
think
over.
So.
It sounds like a stream.
Oh, okay. Like
I am not taking your minds apart. I am not viewing them as pictures. I am simply catching the chaff.
I mean, hey, we could.
Great.
You want to speed this
I-
process up? Hang
I-
on.
I-
And I reach into a bag, and I like pull out a pair of they're like these crystals with kind of like a smooth, flat edge on either side.
Mhm.
This is me spending one of my hold
Hey,
to scoop up telekinesis, or not telekinesis, sorry, telepathy rather.
Yeah.
From God, a half dozen of the playbooks have
Yeah.
telepathy.
any of the play.
In fact, mine does. Mine has telepathy and mind blast. So I'm just scooping up that power. And I just like I take one of the crystals and I kind of like clunk it against my temple
Mm.
and then offer it.
It-
Yeah. It's-
I have seen
It's
these
okay,
used
it's fine.
offensively.
Oh no, I won't say any bad words. Don't worry. I'll think good words.
You don't know how to use these, do you? And it wraps its one of its tentacles around it. It says, it touches the crystal and shakes it a little, and then goes, the safety is now engaged. And
Okay.
places it on. When you mentally connect,
Smart filters have been placed.
yeah, when
Hit
you
safe
mentally
search on.
connect with the arrow that hits the target, it feels like a flowing, like it is in the ocean, which is the world, which is the universe, which is a current, flowing in many directions, and poised beneath the current, expending so little energy as to not need to move but feel the messages coming from the current, is this presence.
Wow.
How much
Ah.
language will you give me? I do not need your personal thoughts.
No, yeah. Here's what I picked up from Earth.
Montage from Fifth Element, but less
Yes.
war-based. Yeah.
The sea's light.
Thank you, Aziz.
What are churros?
It's coming back with churros.
Those- okay.
Ah,
Thank you for helping me understand.
sure.
You're all children.
Okay, I guess that's technically true.
This is good. The Grevin,
That's an accurate assessment.
the Abraxius does not respond well to the unfully formed. The stronger your personal image, I now realize, the better it takes hold of you.
Ah, I see. So in order for the Abraxas to have any sense of psionic control, the individual must have a strong sense of identity and self.
This seems correct.
This actually now makes more sense.
Flux just kind of like shuffles in place a little bit. Awkwardly.
I have knowledge, but I do not know if I can assist you without risking being reclaimed.
We were gonna steal a ship.
And do what with it?
I'm not sure the plan had gotten that far yet, so you might have a better idea of.
Ming
Mostly
pulls up the
would-
plan.
It would piss off the Grevin, I think was the idea. And then when the Grevin are pissed off, we're gonna break, or well, some jerk is gonna break a whole bunch of their stuff, and and that'll be bad for them, because you need supplies for war, which they are raging on this planet against these fine people here. These are Earthlings, by the way.
We have met.
They're more special than most Earthlings, though.
I recognize this in them.
Our current tactical assessment is to utilize a distraction in order to secure a vessel to which we can infiltrate the main hub and therefore enter in and possibly disrupt the psionic signals to the other Abraxas, and then also remove the apparently head. Looks over at Flux. What was the position that the Poison Prince declared themselves? I do not recall.
Metropian, it says.
That one. Thank you.
They say, I should say. Uh, the psionic signals disruption seems unlikely, but I don't know what you're capable of.
I turn into something that looks almost exactly like him. I have tentacles now.
You stated earlier that that most humanoids, most Earthlings here, have this tendency to lead their psionic thoughts outwardly. Is that what you
Like a
said?
broadcasting tower, just spraying information sometimes with their body language and their intention just writ large across them.
Isn't it
What
great?
what would happen if an Abraxas was to be given all of that wanton information at an accelerated rate, and then channel it through to other Abraxas?
Oh yeah, they all talk to each other, or at least the Abraxius all talks to all the little. Or the Metropian talks to all the Abraxius. Yeah.
Ooh, are
It's like
you
a
thinking
big-
about overloading the whole network?
Yes.
Too many brain thinky thoughts.
I was going to say
Nice.
overfilling a pufferfish,
That is also an accurate assessment.
Pufferfish.
but then the spines shoot out.
Squid Me takes out her phone. Ah, that's right. Phones are down.
Which would mean we would need to have the proper counter to when it does.
If only we knew someone fast enough to catch bullets. Oh, wait.
The spines were metaphorical.
They were.
Sure.
Hey,
And showing up
who's
at that
After Image
point.
anyway.
Is After Image,
Uh,
who's probably eating something.
yeah. After Image zooms in, like, probably some sort of portable breakfast in one hand, and oblivious to what's going on, just Ming, do you think you can get me a large electromagnet?
Yes, there's actually we can, and he goes over and actually like rips apart a piece of equipment in the warehouse.
Seriously?
Oh, hi.
Well, we don't need this.
Uh,
We don't need this MRI machine.
After Image, I am the arrow that hits the target.
Oh yeah, Mark. This is an example of the female of the species of humans. This is another one of the types they come in. And a octopus that is Flux walks over to you. It's like, huh?
Is
I
there
don't-
a reason you're an octopus right now?
Why is there a difference?
I forgot. I turned back into regular Flux.
Why not?
That's a really good question. Gender's very complicated.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yes, it
understand
is.
that
We
from the
make it
sentence.
very much more complicated on this planet than it needs to be.
Earthers have hang-ups, you gotta understand.
Hang-ups and communications. No, things that they pause themselves. They hang up on themselves when they have hang-ups.
I think I broke our octopus.
It is the thesaurousness of it. Idioms are difficult.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
Why did
And
one of
then-
you just think about Darmok?
He's
After
not.
Image, is there a particular reason that we need a electromagnet, a large
Oh,
electromagnet?
Yes, my
As
grandfather.
he's stripping apart one.
My grandfather believes that the Poison Prince's gaseous form might be magnetic, and
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
yes,
I
that would-
looked into it, and I think he's right.
Yes, that would make sense considering most gases would be ionized.
After Image. You familiar with electric current? You know what happens to electricity when you move it around?
Same thing that happens to everything else?
Magnetism. Yes.
Oh.
Well, all things have a magnetic signature.
So that's how electromagnetic magnets work. They're wires. Current moves in them, and it makes magnetism, and you can turn it on and
Wait,
off.
hold on. And Ming kind of just does a quick like mental math, and then uses like a short like a hologram pops up just for him to do some quick calculations,
The
that actually
whiteboard
will
program
work.
opens, yeah.
If we utilize it, and it looks over at after image, if you were to utilize this electromagnet magnet, and if we were to introduce also a diffusible canceling cation, it would actually cause a deionization of the poison prince's gas form, which will allow us to neutralize them, and also possibly prevent them from reforming.
I'll get a
Making
shop
them
vac.
easier to capture.
It'll be just like Ghostbusters. This is great. Mark, I gotta show you movies.
Blink,
Movies
blink,
later.
blink.
Great.
We're only on the 80s. We're getting there.
There's only about 4,723 more movies until you reach the current era.
You're only picking the ones you like, aren't you? Oh, of course.
I've
Well-
learned many things from John Hughes.
You have a way to create that signal.
Okay.
We do have one. Okay.
We do. We have enough pieces and
She has
stuff
two
now.
of them.
Mm.
I blink.
The tentacle's pointing at you.
I blink again. I'm sorry? What? Sorry, I was thinking about the Breakfast Club. What?
Breakfast. Man. Parker kind of moves off to the kitchen. We were all kind of standing in the pool.
I'm assuming these looks over and points over. These devices can be used to amplify a sonic signal.
Oh.
Into a
Uh.
what was the word you used? Type of
A psychoreactive signal, or him. They
Oh,
still work.
are you
you said a thing that had many words as part of it, and one of them struck me as able to do with the edge light projectors.
The Cadian thing?
Yes, that was it.
Got it. Contributing.
Sorry, I'm lost.
The reactor's Cadian based.
Ah,
Oh.
that makes more sense now.
Rare weapons. Dangerous weapons held by dangerous people.
Wow. A few of those
So-
lying around here.
And Ming kind of just thinks about it again. So if we were to utilize this power source along with these psychoreactive crystals, they should generate enough energy and feedback into the Abraxas helmets.
You were discussing the prince at the moment.
Oh, the prince. Yes, well, there is that. We do have to deal with that as well.
The psychic feedback is tricky as they are basically filters.
I see. But that means, but even filters eventually cannot process everything.
We'll just get clogged.
That would explain why sometimes they move on to new hosts, especially the Metropians. Each Metropian travels and takes a host. Some keep their hosts, some find a new one fitting to their new area. And they all carry their marks of station.
Okay.
The Poison Prince's scepter is its Metropian mark of station.
Yeah, that's new. I haven't seen him carry that around before. So we just gotta get his pretty stick. No problem, right?
That would seem the logical and immediate resolution to the problem.
Yeah. Cool. Just we cause a distraction, steal a
Yeah.
ship, use it to
Yeah.
sneak past the entire adult population of town
Yep.
into the citadel, the stronghold of this
Yeah.
invasion force, find the
Mhm.
leader,
Mm-hmm.
zap them, take their stick and their hat, and
All right, so let's get started. I start to walk out the door.
I need sleep.
Flux, you should return. You're not capable of accomplishing that task in your current state.
What? No, what? Oh, by the arm that's still a tentacle, I just kind of. There we go, fingers again.
I meant
Pardon
for
me.
you referring to this group.
I'll have you know, we've accomplished quite a great deal. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was a joke. That's the kind of humor you use.
Just kind of like up against the wall.
No offense, they do it better. But practice mostly, I think.
Pardon me, the arrow that hits the target. What other security precautions should we be aware of heading towards the Metropian in the facility?
The Metropian's facility is well guarded. It is... The exterior is patrolled by several massive bugs, as well as a human of physical impressiveness. I don't know too much about the inner defenses.
Understood. We'll have to update the combat situation as we go along then.
They are massively trooped. The
Understood.
building has a platoon.
So we should favor stealth over direct confrontation.
Well, we lose a direct confrontation, so yeah.
Stealth. And I'm just rooting around in a bag. Root. Don't mind me.
Do you have any recollection of security protocols?
The security protocols are stored in the Abraxine.
I see. Well, that's
Oh,
unfortunate.
right. We don't have that one anymore. It died.
And any that were too far removed, or the Abraxine has some consciousness and might choose to not transmit.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Very well.
You removed my helmet. That is impressive.
Thank you. See, I told you we were very good.
I've never seen anyone live through that.
There was there was effort put into preserving your life.
My friend is very smart and great. High five.
It hits
Go
me
over
with
to
5
Kubo.
of its tentacles.
Oh, it's not you.
Like one at a time.
Stop it. Stop. No, this is for my good friend Kuvo. It's a little slimy.
Kind of awkwardly.
I'm not
lifts
slimy.
awkwardly lifts up his hand and kind of just holds it in the air.
And I fly. Like my legs kind of come up off the ground. I go whoosh, go flying like high five. Yeah, you saved this guy's life. He's walking around. You're welcome, by the way. Again.
I have given my thanks.
And
All right. Didn't you say there is some larger plan today?
Yes.
What's
Yeah, that's
that?
what I was going to when you told me that I was inadequate.
I think he meant that you shouldn't go by yourself. All of
We
us
should definitely go at some point.
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's
We
not like
have-
Afterimage is going to be late, but the rest of us.
We have coordinated several other individuals to assist in creating a sizable distraction with a additional force causing external mayhem to a supply drop off.
That will restrict
We're
their
gonna blow a
access to
bunch
new
of shit up.
Abraxians.
Correct.
Oh,
should help
that
with-
sounds like a good thing. Not many new Abraxians.
Yes, and then furthermore, after we've created a sufficient amount of distraction, a splinter group will then infiltrate and steal a ship to then infiltrate the Metropian's facility.
You do have a psychic pilot, so that might work to an extent. I will not be able to assist you in this, as I would be a liability.
Understood. And you are still recovering from your injuries. It would be unwise.
Honestly, yeah, you just got one of the hats off. I would not want another one on. I would feel bad. I would feel
Plus, it's our
responsible.
job. It's our job to
Yeah.
rescue you, not the other way around. So,
Yeah.
because we're the heroes, and you are a victim. I believe that's the word.
I am a hero who lost.
So a victim.
Tomato, potato.
Guys, we can be nicer to the guest in our home.
This is not my home. This is your
Okay.
weird home.
Fine. Then, as the host, please be nice to the guest in my house.
I guess too. I'm just as from space as he is. I'm just as from space as you
I
are.
didn't mean to insult you when I said you are incapable. This group is incapable of storming the Citadel.
Well, we weren't planning on storming it.
We're planning on dropping our dice.
It's got air ducts.
Probably. I have
There's-
never been. I don't
there's-
know it.
There's always a way in.
Probably.
Would a vessel possess enough technical information if we were to commandeer one?
You might be able to talk your way past the first first defenses. The
We just,
word perimeter guard.
yeah, no, it'll be just like the Jedi comes back. We'll just steal one of their ships, fly it in, and say, "Hey, this is me dropping my dice again. I gotta stop playing with them." Ow, they're made of metal. We'll just fly in and get past that first group and sneak around inside the Citadel. No problem, right?
There are more additional complexities and scenarios of which things can go.
Oh, you're always
I
worried
did not
about
mean to-
scenarios.
My point was I did not mean to insult you, and that you probably did not mean to immediately do this.
Direct
I've
assault
already moved on,
immediately,
Mark.
no.
I don't have any hang-ups. I'm good.
Also, and yes, feel free to stay. Order food. There are movies. If you manage not to destroy anything, you're doing better than the rest of my team.
Your equipment is primed for me to practice.
I haven't destroyed anything in here in like a month.
I had a laptop yesterday.
Yeah, and now you have precious intel on the alien force invading
I'm
your
not
home.
saying it was a bad trade.
Nope,
I
it was a
will-
great
I-
trade, and you're welcome.
I will also inform you that you formerly had an MRI machine, but unfortunately that has also been confiscated and also retrofitted.
Listen, Parker, you have to understand, if you don't want this stuff to be taken from you by other people, you should really probably lock it up behind something, or at the very least make some effort to protect it. You didn't, so we
Hide
kind
it
of have by
underneath an
rights.
abandoned warehouse.
Put a
Yeah, but people got
put a
in here.
note on it. Yes, put a note on it.
Oh, I would still take it. It
Then
has to
that
be
is
like chained
rude.
down
You
or something.
should-
No.
It's fine. It's fine. I would point out that maybe we're in a situation where looking at someone's brain might have been useful and an MRI might have been great for that, but moving on. I'm sure there's a hospital we can steal another one from. So
See, now exactly. Now you're talking. If they're not using the MRI, we will just take it.
I just assumed these units were part of a tax deductible for Dawn
I'm
Industries.
sure they are. Anyway,
Well, I don't know what any of that means, but I'm ready to steal things for you.
that's that's so nice.
Yes, heroes.
I
Yes.
prefer we didn't steal anything, actually. Or I'm gonna be real honest about that.
You must steal
Commandeer.
the ship
It's
in
called
order to
Yeah,
continue.
we
to
have-
move.
Well,
don't-
that's different. But like the MRI, I'd prefer we didn't steal that.
Right, which is why I decided to completely take the one that's here.
So who wants to go steal a ship?
Let's
Yeah,
do
we should
that,
go do
please.
that,
Let's
yes.
do that, please.
All right.
please. Please do things that aren't here.
So, the arrow that hits the target, just starts training. Cranks up some of the settings actually on Parker's equipment to nearly deadly levels, and is effortlessly moving through it in ways similar to how Master Lao moved.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Your plan was. So the plan was, Roublemaker was going to have you all attack different points to distract from assault on the supply ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, what point has Kuvo or Asura decided, or Ashura decided, is the opportune point for your group?
Ashura has determined that in order to create the maximum amount of diversion, so between the other heroes that we met on the last episode,
Yeah.
It's going to be our group and another group, and it's pretty much going to be, and so Kuvo starts, because everyone has communication devices at this point, at least short range enough, and starts dictating what everyone needs to do. So basically for our group, Ashura has determined that we need to be in the forefront of one of these the landing zones where a lot of the troops are being dropped off.
Okay.
While the other group is targeting an energy supply, basically like energy reserves, and also trying to see if they can, and I think also a place where they're holding potential heroes or contained other teen heroes and villains.
Yeah. So that turns out to be it was a local jail that they have emptied of criminals through means that will not be discussed, and have stocked with people who were a threat to them.
Fair enough.
Some people they just let go.
Shoo.
I was like, be gone. And I was like, okay. Others, they're like, you're dangerous to everybody.
Yep.
So, you are, though, going for a transportation hub.
Yes.
Okay. This transportation hub used to be actually the place where they keep the road salt and the school buses. The school buses have all been moved into a clump, and what used to be the football field and park next to it has been turned into hovercraft parking, or dropcraft parking. You see patrolling around it are numerous guards, some of which have hats, others don't. One of which has some kind of trained guard dog. It looks like some kind of, like if a wolf was the size of a bear.
Okay, that's a big wolf.
But
That's a big
also,
wolf.
instead of hair, had scales.
Also big scary wolf.
Not really a wolf.
That's not a wolf anymore.
Its tongue comes out and licks the air like a snake's.
Great.
Yep. The moving around here, you do see a known villain, kind of looks to be overseeing most of the site. And that villain's name is Tinsmith.
Tinsmith. Okay.
Hmm.
Have you been reading the files?
I have.
Attempt to read the files on Tinsmith.
Do we
See if
notice
Professor
that
Lau thought he was worth taking files on.
Mm-hmm.
Does Tinsmith look like they have also an Abraxas on their head?
Definitely. It has a
Okay.
tin Abraxas on its head.
Oh, it's made of tin too.
What'd you roll?
6.
Okay. All right. When you on a miss, the situation is well outside your base of knowledge. The GM will tell you why. Tinsmith is not seen as a threat, seen as a potential contractor.
Sure. Great.
There is a note that says of extremely limited use.
Well, I mean, it's more useful to be a brass smith or.
There's plenty of uses for tin. It's used in a lot of alloys.
It's also
like
used
brass.
as a. It's also used as a conductor for pretty much a lot of cookware.
Sure.
Yeah, tin's great. Why are we talking shit about tin?
Tin's been used in cookware for like the last 150 years. It's fine.
Isn't it also bad for cookware?
Well, so okay.
Probably bad.
Never mind.
I won't get into it because I can go in a long spiel about it. But
I was gonna say that'll take a half hour and we will all learn something, but this is not.
You will learn many things about cookware.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this isn't our podcast, Tin Talk.
Yeah. Welcome to my Tin Talk.
Thank you for
Welcome to
coming.
my tin talk.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
and the website you use to get it is Tinder.
Oh.
Anyway. So,
Oh.
I am swiping left on that.
downvote the conversation. All right. The tinsmith does something with metals.
I would hope so.
Yeah. What is your plan of attack?
I think I would like to assess the situation though, which is different
Absolutely.
from reading the files. I'm going to be mindful of my surroundings.
Do this.
Okay, in that case, that's an 11. So
Okay.
that will be
I think for you it's 3.
3 questions. Yep. What here can I use to cause the biggest distraction?
All right, there seems to be a big, bulky thing the size of a school bus that the hover pods are hooked to occasionally
Oh, nice.
when they come in,
Right.
as though they are electric cars. The thing reaches out with tentacles
Mm-hmm.
that touch the ships and begin powering them.
Okay. Who here is most vulnerable to me?
There's a couple of different guard positions. Only one of them is static, and that's the one where the tinsmith is.
Mm-hmm.
If you time it right, one of the
Okay.
smaller ones, not the one with the dog, would probably be the easiest, most vulnerable
So yeah,
of the group.
to Assassin's Creed this and kind of take out a
Yeah.
patrol.
After watching for a moment or two, you recognize that two of the people that have been paired together to do a patrol are relatively new to this army. They do not have hats on, meaning they probably don't have extraordinary powers.
Okay. And then, how could we best end this quickly?
Well, leave. Take out the tinsmith.
Second best way to
Like,
end this quickly.
The best way to do it quickly is to make a big enough distraction and just GTFO instead of trying to take people out.
Got it.
Focus on the vehicle, not the. If you want to do this
Right.
fast,
Right. So basically, yeah, he's gonna okay, I have an idea. I can get us a hole in the patrols. Don't worry about it. And then we get in there and blow that thing up. Or overload it, cause it to cause problems. Because if it goes, it'll blow all of those tanks, I think. If it sends way too much energy that way.
Wait, why are we doing that?
We need to
Distraction.
cause enough of a distraction so they can not, so that we can infiltrate and steal one of the ships.
Yeah, we want
Okay.
all the troops to come here. And while they're coming here, we leave. And go do it again somewhere else. Of course, everyone else is also doing the same thing, so hopefully they're all over the place.
Okay, so just throwing this out there, you know that like you three could steal the ship and then I could just catch you later, right?
Yes.
I could be the
Yeah.
distraction.
But
we
I
can
would
work
rather.
together on this. There
But
might be
also-
a fight.
I don't want to risk them knowing that we're doing something. I'd rather if the explosion was seemingly an accident.
All I'm saying is you don't have to do it by yourself.
Agreed.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very safe.
Let's help each other. We've done that before.
Okay, look,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the blowing up plan, but if that's what everybody said
I'm not. Well, overload stuff cause a big light show.
We can, if you want, I can minimize the explosion so that there should be no harm to anybody here.
That would make me feel a lot better about this plan, yes.
All right, very well.
I guess I could knock the guards unconscious.
All right. So, it's go time.
Go time.
You can talk about it forever, but go time.
Go time.
I'd like to unleash my powers to knock those guards unconscious.
So, first,
Not
before
kill them.
that happens,
Oh, fair enough.
Mhm.
It's
You
fair.
get a
We gotta
team.
do the- We gotta do the
We get a
thing.
team. We get a team.
where's the team move? We're gonna
Uh,
start of a session, every session, conditions,
who's
influence,
the team?
team mechanics.
I'm guessing Parker is going
Oh.
to be the team leader for this scenario.
You're going to enter this battle against a dangerous fool, so add 2 to the pool, you're up to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Okay.
the team leader has influence over every teammate, add to the team. Who is the team leader?
I might
Not
be.
me.
I think for this
I think
situation, it's Parker.
It's Parker.
Okay.
Okay.
And I do have influence over after image flux in me.
All right.
If that's the case, I have
Mhm.
captain. And when we
Uh-huh.
enter battle as a team, add an extra team to the pool
Jesus.
and carry one forward.
So
Carry
extra
one
team plus-
forward, not a
Plus
team
one.
forward.
Uh,
You just
no.
get plus 1,
Plus one forward if you're the leader.
and forward is the next
Okay.
roll, right?
Yes.
So to start this
also-
It's not. It's not ongoing. It's just
Yeah.
the plus
No,
one.
no.
on-
The next roll
Right.
that Parker makes has +1 on it.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
Parker
and
needs to keep track of that.
And also, I have above the fray when you enter battle as a team against a dangerous foe. If you have influence over the leader, provide tactical input and add +1.
I'll
add
say you
one
did
team
that,
to
so
the
6.
pool. So yep, that is 6. We have 6 already.
All right.
Nice.
If everyone has the same purpose in the fight,
I'm here to steal a ship.
Here to
Ship.
steal a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
7.
any member mistrust the leader?
Nope. Not
Is your team
presently.
ill-prepared or off-balance? I'm not going to say no, not especially.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the leader, as a note, the leader can always mark a... Okay, never mind. Thing. Team members can also spend team act selfishly, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You have 7 team. Jesus. All right.
That is a lot of team.
That's good stuff.
All right. So make that... you are engaging a patrol.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So you're engaging a turn. Okay.
Directly engage that threat.
Oh, okay.
These patrols are actually a threat to us. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
That's good to
wait. No. Most of the patrols are... You found the one that was the least of a threat to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
am I
no, they're
unleashing
still
So
threat.
unleash your powers.
They are the least of a threat, but still a threat.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, it's a 12.
Okay.
Pick 2.
Pick 2. I mean,
Yep. I creating an opportunity for my allies
mhm.
to get we're gonna get everybody
Mhm.
in here unnoticed, hopefully.
May I just recommend take resist or avoid their blows?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think you pretty much take them out.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna
in
say
a very-
surprise the opposition and
Mm-hmm.
In a very structured way, Parker gets... Ares gets themselves in position and coordinates with After Image on where they should be. Flux is going to move up quickly from behind as Kuvo hangs back a little. And it is seamless. You move as a group. There's just the 2 of them, and you take them out 1, 2, 3. Ares just, removes one person from the field with a series of blows as After Image comes up and starts disabling the other one, and Flux uses her energy whip to pull them back and into the bushes.
then we go through their pockets. I believe that's tradition.
Yeah. Okay. So they've got communicators on them. One has a pack of Double Bubble
Taking that.
and Bazooka Joe with the comic still in
Taking
it.
that.
Oh man.
It
Right.
is.
First gum.
You're not sure if it's an eraser or gum.
Taking that.
Probably could be used for either. They had a couple of chips that you know to be galactic credits.
Taking those.
It's about $7 worth of galactic
Yeah,
credits.
they never have
$7 on galactic credits.
I mean, Kuvo will take a communicator just so. We can keep
They
track of
also
time.
had their badges, which actually have a tiny bit of security encoding
Ooh,
bioorganism
Also
in
taking
them.
those.
I would like.
But they
I
are
would-
low level.
Yeah,
They're
that's
low
fair.
level. That's fine.
Yes, but the red key card will get us through the red door.
Yes, the red key card will get you through the red door.
Through the red door.
All right. What do you do next moving into this facility? You've created the hole for the patrol. You can get up to the ships pretty easily, you believe. The interior is pretty busy with people moving around. It's yeah. The interior is pretty busy with people moving around.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, Kuvo's gonna go and start heading over to the container that's connected to all the other ships to
The hover tanks.
create the hover
That
tanks,
is
yeah.
where most people are.
Mm.
I mean, I could disguise myself and try and draw some people away.
What about the buses?
Use the
Turn-
buses as a cover.
I was gonna say we could turn some of the buses on and use them as part of this distraction.
Do they have alarms?
The buses, yeah.
They have the
buses
they
are
have-
capable of making noise.
Yeah, they have the train crossing
Horn.
lights and alarms and horns. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And we do know someone who moves super fast.
Oh God, I love it.
All right.
Please.
Unleash your powers to reshape your environment.
Well, that's good. I rolled 12, I believe.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa, yeah.
All right.
Yes, that is 12.
The sound is cacophonous. Whoever is writing sound effects for this issue has their job cut out for them, as a number of different sirens and horns just start triggering. And you also do it to some of the old surrounding cars, cars that have been there for a day or two and that kind of got left behind or abandoned. And you just go in and you know there's like one of those things protected by Viper, and you just kick it, and it starts freaking the F out. A lot of people start like looking over and moving in that direction. Tinsmith, who's kind of in a position in like they're in since there are fields here where sports happens, there's like a football stadium with a box at the top of the stands. They are in that box, and you see them pointing and telling people to go take care of that. So yeah, you can get up to the middle now. I will say there are a couple of people on the way, like one or two guards that you quickly dispatch that aren't a threat to you. As you move through, like one or two guards stops and goes, "Hey, hey!" And you just, boom, like Ares' fist comes out of frame, or they get lifted off their feet and thrown into the air by Flux.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right, and then I think this is where Kuvo is going to try to rig that little container to have a controlled explosion.
What are you using? So, what are you trying to do? Is this a specific thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide. I think it's probably going to be. I think what's going to happen here is Kuvo's going to use one of the gadgets for his always prepared
Mm-hmm.
for unleashing my powers. So it's still going to be unleash my powers, but I'm going to use superior instead, and I'm going to use a gadget.
Okay.
And the gadget is going to be basically a kind of a new retrofit of like a hacking mechanism in order to bypass security protocols and also to go and read the schematics quickly, so that way I can decide how to best.
All right,
change
let's
the
see what
energy.
you roll, and I'll tell you how effective it is.
Right, and I can spend team selfishly.
It costs
after I
2,
roll,
and you
right?
have 7.
Right, but I can spend that after I roll. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you talking about in the
Four.
team mechanics or like some kind of
Yeah.
special move you have?
Just team mechanics.
Okay, it only spends one team, and it shifts a label.
Right. So, but do I roll? But do I?
And
But
you
your
can use that
label's
after
already-
rolling.
Your label's
Okay.
already at 3, right?
No, not for superior. No, because I
Okay.
got shifted.
Okay.
Then you
Yeah,
got to move something
you-
else down.
When you act
Yeah,
selfishly,
so-
say how your actions ignore or insult your teammates, remove a team from the pool, and shift.
Right. Well, I actually didn't need it, so I don't. I'm fine. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Oh, well, there
So
you
it
go.
works the way
That's
you
why.
want.
It worked the way I wanted.
The thing you created is a neural link interface with some psionic crystal as a buffer. You don't know exactly how the psionic crystals are working, but you figured out that you can at least create a blockage so that feedback doesn't fry your neural receptors.
Jeez. Good.
That
Good.
sounds-
That's good.
Like you couldn't program the psionic stuff, but you've put enough of them in the way that
Right.
you know you're able to interface better with these kind of machines now. This thing does have its own diagnostic inside of it. There is a computer program that's constantly running inside of it and basically exists only inside of it to only keep itself up to date, keep itself safe, and then keep itself working. It's got an auto repair mechanism. What you do is you trick the auto repair mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
It believes it's currently on fire, and it is going to launch its foam, and then you are also telling it it's in a sub-zero situation where it needs to overcharge its heating cell, overcharge its circuits to up the heat, and then when the foam dissipates, it will still be overheating, but out of foam.
Mm-hmm.
In order to put itself out, which will create it on fire. This will be like an electric car that catches fire. It
Yeah.
will be big, and it won't be a huge explosion, but
Right.
it'll put out a lot of like smoke, a lot of light, and be incredibly difficult to put out. Because you used up all of its safety measures first.
Mm-hmm.
So there is this, like, it looks like it gets a little bigger,
Mhm.
and then gets covered in like this light green foam. But then that light green foam starts to dissipate because it expected it to be warm, and warm makes the foam react, and then the whole thing starts glowing red.
We only have a limited time. Let's go.
There is a sound coming from it now that is, it goes from dog whistle into incorporating dog whistle and bullhorn.
Oh.
As the circuits start to charge up and overreact. Everyone is firmly distracted. There are some people running towards it and other people just telling everyone to run away. Tinsmith has run down out of the booth and has taken off his gloves.
All right. Let's find a ship and go.
Yeah, like I am just hauling ass over to the ship we had picked out, and anything that is between me and the cockpit of that thing, like that's where I am headed.
All right, so you are overcoming the obstacles of people in your way.
Sure.
Don't have to just look like them. Don't run.
Well, they are all
Oh.
running.
Well,
Oh, all
fair.
right.
All running.
So unleash your powers to
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, oh, good idea. As I turn around, and then when I turn back again, I look like something else. Maybe let's find out. Let's hope.
Yeah, yellowish orange armor.
As I double check real quick what my because I know I've got some. Oh God, what's your powers? Oh right, that's on freak, and my freak is like really high right now.
Would
It's
that?
a 10. That's a 10.
I
Actually,
was gonna say, would that be considered teamwork? But yeah, don't need it.
don't need it. Yeah.
All right. With that, you get to the ship as you run past. The tinsmith actually runs up to you. Runs up to you, says, "You get those vehicles out of here! You!" and like grabs the guy by the armor, and the armor starts to turn into metal. And he goes, "You, let them know," and just like sends him the other way.
Yes, sir. I'll suppress the humans, sir, by moving the ship.
Has already run out of your like
Mhm.
to try to figure out what's going on.
Death to Earthlings.
All right, you
Death
get to the
Earthlings.
ship. You're at the ship.
Yeah, I mean, like, what am I looking at?
You're looking at the side of like a kind of egg-shaped Actually, you know what? Let's just make it a goddamn big, bulky rectangle. Remember the when Leela gets the mom car, the perfect safety car in Futurama? It's like just a rectangle made of squishiness. This is like that, but just
Vaguely.
pure metal.
Okay.
It's kind of
Oh my
trapezoidal.
It's a spaceship. It doesn't have to.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
follow physics.
It's a brick.
Nor does it have to use Euclidean shapes.
Yeah. This
You don't
thing
have to worry about aerodynamics if you use enough power.
has a number of doors for like quick troop transport drops.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's about the size of a school bus, except 2 school buses wide.
Okay. Then, yeah. Like, if those are any of those openings open? Like, can I just run inside
One of
this
them
thing?
is, yes. Actually, there's a lock on it, but there is a guy who has been, or let's just say one of you grabbed the security card. That's enough to get it opened. You get inside.
Bubblegum, credits, security card.
All right. Now, are you capable of, let's say, you've got alien technology.
I do.
So you're familiar with alien technology.
Potentially.
You can use
depending.
your alien technology controls to hotwire this.
Okay. Actually, yeah. So I think what I do, even
Yes, tell me how.
specifically, is like the what's like the cockpit of this, the front like cockpit area of this thing look like? What does it look like? So I
I'm
know what
going.
to-
This thing is completely original Star Wars movie looking.
Perfect.
Like everything
Okay.
is dark gray. The buttons are somewhat lit up, but
Big
not
chunky
overly.
and, yeah.
Chunky.
Big
All
big
chunky.
bulbous
It's got a
suit.
square room, 2 chairs right next to one
Uh
another.
huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
a
yeah, like
rectangle.
yeah. It
It's
looks,
a
it looks
rectangle.
say not unlike the shuttle Tidarian. Perfect.
USS rectangle.
I kind of run up and slide like do like a belly slide down between the 2 chairs, kind of like swiveling them to the side as I go, and I roll onto my back. Okay. And pull out my friggin' laser dagger, essentially, like kind of pry a panel off of it and root back into that bag again. I'm gonna spend a second hold
Okay.
to grab the ability hacking, both my hold, out of I believe friggin' the protege has hacking at some point. Yeah, there it is, hacking, perfect.
All
I root
right.
around and I've got a essentially it looks like a knife that I just kind of jam up in there, but when I take my hands off of it, it's got all these little sparkly, like Star Wars. It's got a bunch of little like blinky lights. And
It's
stuff.
called a data talon.
Yeah, I jam a data talent up in there and like chunk on the button, and it just the lights just start cycling through until eventually, oh, potentially depending on how this goes, like when it finishes, they'll hit green or something.
So, what are you rolling for this? Is this an unleash?
Yeah, that feels right for you. Otherwise, it just happens.
You know, what? I'm gonna say this just happens. You've put enough
Okay.
effort into this
Yeah,
that you
that's
guys are getting there.
It spins around the lights, and then
Yeah.
all of them go green.
All right.
I think
The thing
Ares
starts up.
And I think Ares, when he boards, is less focused because Flux has this at least, and getting the ship off the ground is not his area of expertise. But he's going to check the troop, make sure that we're alone.
Coming for you all as you all approach the outside of the ship is the 2 with the dog.
Hmm.
And by dog, I mean giant wolf lizard with a snake tongue.
You know,
That dog.
dog,
It's a dog of some kind.
not a dog.
Oh, what a
0% a dog.
Yep. So, it looks like it's about to start bounding at the group.
Who's a good boy?
So,
Not
who
this
wants to
thing.
try to fight their way out? You're not
Hmm.
fighting the whole group, but you're fighting this one patrol, which could be dangerous.
Down for it, or
Okay.
at least defending.
All right, you want to
Okay.
defend?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think get to the ship. Get
Yeah,
to the ship.
defend
everybody.
someone or something from an immediate threat. You're defending the ship from the dog.
Yeah,
I'd like to throw in a team point to help with that.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
We've done this before.
Yeah.
All right. It's 8.
Okay. So, on a 7 to 8, it costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Hmm. Okay. Hang on. Give me a
So
choose one.
you only
give
get
me a
to
second,
pick.
choose one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
you don't get to choose one though.
Oh no, you still choose one.
Yeah.
On a hit, you keep it's
Keep them safe and
defend
choose
is
one.
very
On a
awkwardly
hit,
worded.
yeah, for
but the
NPC
way it's
threats. On
You,
a hit,
you keep them safe and choose one.
on a
Yes.
7 to 9
Costs
as
you.
well. Yeah.
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 They should
So
say-
he's gonna
yeah.
be picking from one of the three, and then so you have two things to pick essentially.
I'm gonna clear insecure because, I mean, basically, it's like, I know how to do this.
yeah, this
This
is a
I
thing you're good
know.
at. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not Ares's gear or anything, but Ares kind of glows a little when he fights. Just like the chest, just kind of a little, kind of a orange, just blows of just kind of
Yeah.
batons of just fighting. Anyway,
All right. So, are you exposing yourself to danger or escalating the situation?
I'm fine with exposing myself to danger.
Okay. So the thing gets on you.
Okay.
It is going to bite your face off if it can. And then it's trying to grab you by the neck and fling you around.
Okay. I'm hoping the superhuman physique will mitigate that somewhat, but
It-
yeah.
Does. So you're not going to be able to move or get up while this thing is on top of you. It is
Okay.
heavy. It's pinning
It's-
you down while the other two run up with what looks to be energy batons.
Okay.
And it now appears that a good bit of ways, the tinsmith has taken notice that there are people who shouldn't be here. Though it looks like it will take some time before
All right.
the tinsmith is able to.
Get to the ship.
All right, so who's doing what? This thing is on top of Ares. Someone's trying, or Flux is
I-
definitely.
I'm still inside the ship. I assume the
Yeah.
other two
Yeah.
are still
So,
outside the ship. So
I
it feels
think
to me
Ku-
like you two could do something here.
So Kuvo is going to point out to After Image to aim for like one of the creatures like supposedly more vulnerable looking locations, like around the neck or something, to kind of help Ares out, and also to knock out the other two guards as part of the plan. So I'm going to use Tactical Genius here.
Okay.
And so let's see, it's going to be a plus Savior, which I have plenty to spare. And I rolled a 12, so yes.
Okay.
On a hit, I'm right, and another teammate, which is going to be After Image, can take advantage to get a +1 ongoing, acting on the information.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go fight this thing then and try to get it off of Ares.
Kuvo points out that it was hard to see when it was at rest, but it also has like gills that it breathes through. Punch it in the gills,
Obstruct its airways.
Yes.
or slime its gills or something. Yeah. Ooh.
Just
All right,
like, yeah.
I'm going to run over there and obstruct its gills.
Hit this snake, wolf, bear, dog, shark thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So you find a bunch of. Well, let's see what you roll before I tell you what you find. And
You want this to be?
this is directly engaging a threat. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yeah, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
And you get a +1.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure all my stats but Savior at 0, so this is a 5.
Including the +1.
Yes.
Okay. 5.
All right.
Mark
So-
potential.
Is there a way two of us could help here? Because like.
Not really. One of you's underneath it. The other.
I'm
Yeah,
the only
like
one out there. I
did.
think
Ground
I
fighting, I'm
kinda
trained.
did, yeah. So
Yeah, you are trained in ground fighting, so that gets you a +1.
Okay.
yeah,
Then in
I'll
that
add
case,
a team. To, yeah,
are you...
I'll spend team.
Question: are they
Yeah.
in front of the ship or behind the ship?
To the
Like, where are they
side,
relative?
but
Side.
I will let two of you spend team to do something.
So
'Cause-
we're okay. We had 7, spent 1, so we're at 6.
Yeah, you got plenty.
I spend 1.
yeah, we
that's
got plenty.
Yeah. And
All
like I could be coming up from like around the panel like,
Hmm.
okay, I think we're, whoa, and I just like reach over and slap a button, and
Oh,
like
the
a-
engines. The engines can turn on right
That's what I was
there,
thinking. Like, I was thinking like if it's behind, it could be the engine wash. If it's in front of, I could like push the ship forward to like Norgit. Because I don't know if this thing has any weapons or anything on it, or
It has claws, but yeah.
ooh,
th-
like little grabby arms or
Oh,
something.
yes. I meant the beast, but also yes now.
Oh,
Um, also yes now because that's cool.
okay. Then yeah, I just like reach over to like.
An outlaw star style claw arm comes out of it. I know you hate them so
Yes!
much.
They made me so mad. Anyway. Ugh. Ugh.
The
I
grapplers
missed
come
that.
out.
Oh, the grapplers come out.
Grapplers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they fold out, and yeah, I like, grab a joystick on the wall and like push it forward to go like fly at this thing.
Yeah.
To like swat at it essentially.
hmm
So there you go, another team.
All right, now you're up to 7.
Nice.
Yep.
Pick
There
one.
we go.
Okay, so I am going to choose to resist and. No, I'm gonna choose to create an opportunity for now is to get so that Ares can try to get out of here.
All right. So the claw comes down on its like back haunches, but it doesn't hurt it as much as Flux intended. Ares is trying to like get at its throat, which is keeping it from biting him and keeping it a little off balance as you find what looks to be just like a big thing of engine grease and slap it right along the side of it, covering the about half of it that appear to be gills.
Greasy Gills is going to be my next heavy metal band name.
Hey, no. Hey, I'm Greasy Gills.
I was gonna say it's the next bard character I play.
Hey. Greasy Gills.
How you doing? Listen, I got connections in 14 cities. You grease my palms, I'll grease you up. Greasy Gills.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Ooh. Please don't grease me up, Greasy Gills. Oh, you gotta
Hey,
get
no,
greased.
Everybody likes it. You gotta get.
Boss says you gotta get greased.
Get greased.
You grease my palms or I grease you. I'm Greasy Gills. Ah, come on.
God, I love hate this character. All right. Greasy Gills is now a hero, not a hero, a bad guy that's been taken over.
Oh God.
But
You're welcome, Internet.
You managed
You're
to
welcome.
make this thing rear back, but it turns and snaps at After Image, connecting as its tongue flicks out the scent before its eyes can adjust to After Image's speed. So go ahead and take a powerful blow.
Would this thing be considered way more powerful than me?
I don't know about way more powerful. It's powerful, but it's got basically 2 conditions, and you basically gave it 1.
Okay.
So
fine.
I wouldn't say way more powerful. I would say powerful, but not way more powerful.
All right. And that's an 8.
All right, choose one. You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate, you give ground, or you struggle past the pain, marking 2 conditions.
You know what? I'm gonna struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions.
What are you marking?
Let's see. Afraid
There.
and insecure.
All right. With this opportunity, Ares, you can get out from under it. What do you do?
I think. Nope. We
I
have
just
been
do-
trained. We have been trained to fight.
Ares, your mentor. We cut to a scene of you and your mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Your mentor is saying, you're like, yeah, but I can get away. And he's like, but it will follow you. Clear the threat.
We are
Take
trained
it off
to
the
fight.
board.
We are trained to fight. I am down with all of the part except the. I know he means lethally when he says take it off the board, but I'm gonna say probably directly engaging here.
Okay. I don't know if that your mentor. Never mind. Keep going.
we're gonna get at it. That is a 6.
Oh, I can still add a team though. I still
Yeah.
got, I
Yeah,
still got
we
my
can
full
add
robot
team.
Fair
arms.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Are you
I grab the
engaged
other
in
joystick
are
and
you-
just.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Basically,
more
yeah,
now.
engaging, but it's gonna, it's still pretty much on top of me. So yeah, it's kind of like scrambling back and not quite on his feet, but he's still.
Yeah. So I'll say you actually make it to your feet, and the thing comes and hits it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you choosing? Yeah. What are you choosing?
Create an opportunity.
All right.
I'm gonna pass that on to Kovo or Flux or Afterimage.
Does anyone have an idea for what to do with that opportunity? Because I have a.
I mean, yeah, I do actually.
Uh huh.
Go for it.
Because if that thing rears up, I could grab it with the grabber arms.
Okay, you grab it
Throw
with the
it.
grabber arms and you throw it at.
Tinsmith.
Tinsmith, yeah, like.
All right. That just happens. I'm gonna say.
Yeet.
Tinsmith
Eat it.
puts his hands up and like as it hits Tinsmith, it starts to turn metallic.
Yep.
It lands on top of Tinsmith with a heavy thud. He pushes it to the side, and when it hits the ground, it crumples as though it were made completely of tin.
Oil.
Yes.
Cool.
Tin is very malleable.
Very malleable.
Metal. Yes.
Very soft metal.
Yes,
Turns
it
out it's
is.
real easy to get through a safe when the front of the safe is now made of tin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's got the Midas touch, but it sucks.
It's yeah.
So Tinsmith is knocked back and will not be able to do anything for a moment or two.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you that are still, or the three of you are still out front of the ship. The two guards are a bit a ways. Tinsmith
Alright,
is now. The real threat here is Tinsmith.
Okay. So I think right now, Kuvo is basically saying, it tells Ares and Afterimage, let's go. We don't need to dally here too long, and he's going to basically like the power armor is going to like pull up like these repulsar blasts and hit the other two guards, and I'm going to directly engage the threat, and we'll see
Okay.
how that goes.
All right.
Good. So let's see how that goes. I have a -1 on this. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna have to spend. Does anybody want to help me out with the team? I'm only one away.
I got you.
So okay, that'll put me at a 7.
All right.
And then I will choose create an opportunity for my allies, so that way they can get past the two guards and we can get on board and GTFO.
These guards are dangerous, but not a true threat. What can I do to you?
Mhm.
Let's see. I'm going to shift your label danger up.
Okay.
This is my the move I'm taking for taking out these two guys. You hit
Okay.
you hit them
Yep.
both square. And Ares put one like shoulder checked one into position so that it catches both of them. The blast is dead on to the chest and very close to being of lethal force.
Mm.
So I'm going to move your danger up, and your what's your savior at 3?
Move
Put it
down.
at 2. Yeah.
Got it. Sounds good.
Danger.
Danger.
Voltage.
High voltage.
Anyway, so you blast those two. They go flying back. Afterimage, what you doing?
I'm going to run for the ship.
Okay, the other two.
Jedi leap to. I mean, I'm assuming the ship is starting to take off the ground. Ares is kind of leaping up and getting into the.
You
More exciting
dramatically
that way,
leap
so
up.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Dramatically leap up.
Kuvo, same.
Same. Use the power armor flight system to get on board.
All right. You are all on board now. Tinsmith is yelling at people. but everything is such chaos. It looks like in order to follow you, it's going to take them a little bit. How do you all get away? No, Flux. How do you get away? Where do you take the ship?
Well, okay, so that's the thing, right? Is we're trying to steal this thing in order to break into like the Citadel area. So we have to lose our tail. Which means that we need to essentially shake this guy somewhere that we're not going to be seen. Are there any large bodies of water nearby?
Absolutely. There's the river. There's the
I was
big
gonna say
damn
there's
river.
a river, isn't there?
Yes, there is the Okeechobee. No, not the Okeechobee. I'm trying to think of. Oh God, the Penny Penelope River,
Okay.
or the Lenape River. Let's just call it the Lenape River,
Lenape
which is
River.
a
Yeah, okay.
massive river. And runs the length of New Athens.
From the seat up front, as you guys are coming in, you just hear Flux shout, "Hey, you guys all know how to swim, right?" As I take it and I like crane sideways and kind of invert the ship. So if you're looking outside, the whole world is kind of, and I'm going to dive it into the lake, or the river rather.
Yeah.
You've literally been in my pool. Yes.
Since this thing is prepped for space, it is also able to handle underwater. You get away. You see a number of other ships flock and hornets nest out from there. But it takes a little bit. And you're all underwater for a little longer, till the point where it's starting to get a little like, okay, should we come out now? Okay, another ship above. So your next thing you're going to do with this is take it to the... So it calms down after about 20 minutes.
I figured we could like move very like slowly along the bottom of the lake or something, trying to like...
basically the transponder on it, and you have already hacked the ship. So you easily enough change the signature on it so that you think you will probably be able to get away without being like detected and shot out of the sky.
We think.
Yeah. So what is
Well-
your next step?
Listen, I haven't stolen a lot of spaceships before. This is only my second one, so I think it'll work. It worked fine when I stole my last one.
All right. Now we need to get ready to head to the Citadel where the Metropian is located. And we need to do without incurring further distraction. Yeah, we just need to avoid more troops if we can.
No problem. I just bring us up somewhere there's not a lot of eyeballs,
All right.
and
Is there
As
you know, if
cargo?
anybody tries to get a hold of us, we'll just
A
turn the transponder
manifest?
back on.
As
What
you,
are we carrying?
This is a troop transport. There is some
Prisoners.
basic weapons. There. You know what? I'll give you a prisoner. Explodio is in here.
Ah! Explodio.
Except Explodio is like in a very bad way. Explodio was taken violently, but not crabbed yet.
Okay.
And you do see a teen hero who didn't come to your meeting. That is also unconscious, and that I was gonna name. Nope, that's not. I had a list. And I lost the list. Where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh, there it is. You see two of them. You see Sigil and Glyph,
Sigil and
a
Glyph.
brother and sister pair that specialize in sorcery.
Yeah, this is bonus. This is great. I was just thinking you guys.
And Sigil starts to wake up.
Kuvo is gonna look through the ship, see if there's any kind of medical supplies.
Helmet back on pretty quick. Okay.
There's a number of medical supplies in there, as with healing gels, goos, and other things. Smelling salts and psychic mind clearers.
Okay, so Kuvo is gonna definitely start start helping out at least Sigil and Glyph quickly.
Yeah. As you open the cage to Sigil, Glyph goes, "No, they got her," and you see Sigil has a smaller version of
Oh, how
an
unfortunate.
Abraxas on them, and that's where we're gonna end for the night.
Oh crap!
Oh, Peachy.
They work on more than just adults, you guys. Oh
Well,
no.
well, the small ones work on small people.
Yeah,
Great.
maybe.
Now
Possibly,
it comes in
potentially.
kid size.
They come in sizes. Great.
I hate it.
You too can get your own mind-bending crab helmets.
I don't. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Comes in
yeah,
every Happy Meal.
yeah, they come in kids flavors too. Berry Brainiac, mental melon. You know.
Hey, it's me,
Cabeza
Barry
Chocula.
Brainiac.
Cranberry, cranium cranberry.
Just like, oh man.
All right. So, thank you everybody for joining us on this weird, fun game of masks, where everything has to be dramatic at the end of every episode. So, let's go around and do the ending mechanic. So, starting with after image, you get to choose one. Did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I'm going to say grow closer to the team because Kovu listened to my concerns about the explosion.
Yeah. All right. So, you already have influence over them? Or
Yeah.
over her? Yes.
I do. Yes.
All right. So, you get to shift her labels.
Let's shift. If afterimage, what is your savior at right now?
3.
Okay, so it's already at the highest it could be. Let's shift.
What's your freak at, by the way? Because you've been using your
Yeah.
powers a lot.
Yeah.
Or your danger.
Those are both everything but Savior's at 0 right now.
Okay, so let's move your freak to up, and let's move your superior down.
Okay.
All right. And you get to clear conditioner mark potential.
Yeah, I'm gonna clear hopeless.
All right, Aries.
All right. I think growing closer to the team and I think I want to say after image
Okay.
made me feel welcome because we just had a couple of moments that reminded Aries of the time when after image and Aries would just be patrolling on their own and kind of
Before it
Back
was a
to-
full team when it was just the
Right.
two of you.
it's back on the streets kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
All right.
definitely giving influence, and after image already has influence,
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
feel free to change some labels.
Let's see, what is your danger at?
It's just one.
What's your saver at?
Savior is 2. Everything else is 0.
Okay.
Next
And
up. Should be a total of 3.
May I suggest taking the mundane down and upping the danger?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right.
Bad
Flux.
at being normal.
I very much grew into my own image of myself,
Mhm.
opening up to T and reminding me that it's like, by the way, I'm actually a space pirate, and then stealing a ship and doing stuff like that and stealing things and this is all things I'm distressingly familiar with. So I'm going to shift my danger up by 1 because I'm feeling kind of dangerous, and shift my savior down to a -2.
Okay.
'cause I remember that Yarhar failed DB.
All right. Kuvo.
Kuvo definitely grew closer to the team because Kuvo is starting to rely on the team members more to try and do things and not try to shoulder the entire burden. And I feel that Aries and Kuvo having that little side moment of this is our normal way of talking. This is just who we are, and this won't change. And we have experiences that are very similar but also very different. but we understand each. There's an understanding.
Gotcha.
So,
All right.
so Ares also has influence over me.
Let's see.
I can tell you right now, my danger, freak, and mundane are at 0,
Okay.
and my savior and superior are at 1. Yes. Wow. Reading is hard.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Oh,
Good.
I'm so
savior's
sorry,
at
Fox.
2, and superior's at 1.
Okay. I think maybe savior down and up freak.
Okay.
We may need
Your freaky powers.
Ashura.
Freaky. Yeah. We probably will.
You started to learn how to incorporate psionics. That's weird.
Yeah.
That is
That's-
weird.
Did we have
yeah.
the opportunity to have a brief triumphant celebration when we
Not-
got away? Not really.
No, there is no chance for us to celebrate.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I just wanted to check because there is a move that I've got there, but yeah, later.
It will happen next time.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So,
my last thing for at end of session is: did I take steps to make amends for my shame? I'm thinking.
Started working with Badge.
Yeah. I mean, but to be fair though, I don't think I was making amends. Well, did I make amends? Because I kind of now, Ming is now remembering bits of procedures and scenarios that were put away, and basically realizing that they've been working towards this for the whole time. So I guess that is a yes then. So
yeah, I'll say
okay,
yes. All right.
Okay, so sweet.
Thank you so much. All right. So, go around. We'll just do a quick version of our outros. I'm sorry I ran long tonight.
Yeah, it's fine.
Happens.
All right. So, Nerdy Teddy.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Nerdy Teddy. You can find me on Twitter at Nerdy Teddy and in the Nerds with Dice Discord. And I'm here 3 times a week usually. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and on Mondays over on the Bardic Knock channel playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I have some games and stuff that I wrote. You can find them through the link in the chat, and the link is also in my Twitter bio.
All right. Thank you so much, Commander Pulsar.
Hey, it's your pal Greasy Gill.
Greasy Gill.
Greasy
Everybody's
Gill's,
got a
Taking
greasy
that out of
gill.
my ear.
Greasy Gill's Fish Emporium. Come down and get greased. No, I'm Commander Pulsar. You can find me at Commander Pulsar on Twitch and Twitter.
He sells
I am
fish oil.
here. Yeah, fish oil, essential fish oil.
Essential
Omega-
fish oil. No,
Omega-3
see,
is
my
good.
version of
Essential.
my version of Greasy Gills was actually going to be a fish fry place in northwest Georgia. In
Okay,
Georgia.
let's focus.
So-
All right.
Fair enough. Omega-3s and all that. No, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Commander Pulsar. On Sundays, we do Lego Brunch. On Thursday mornings, we at 9 a.m. we do Morning Patrol. Today, we talked about Kingdoms of Warfare from Mac Oval, MCDM. Good book.
Cool.
And on Thursday nights, we do this. And that's where you find me online.
All right. Fox Barrett.
Hey folks, I remain Fox Barrett at Fox_Barrett, where you can find me on Twitter. I have normally you can catch me over on twitch.tv/devilslightgaming, where Sundays we run Innistrad's Regulars, our 5e game set on the Magic the Gathering plane of Innistrad. It's horror and being damp. Innistrad.
It's Castlevania Sewers.
It's Castlevania Sewers, honestly. I've also started
present
streaming
moment.
recently. Yes. We went from a shitty sewer to a really nice sewer. It's weird. But in any event, yeah. In any event, I've also started streaming on my own channel, which you can catch over at twitch.tv/fox_bar. Sorry, Fox bar's taken. And yeah, I'm just streaming all kinds of games and stuff over there. Well, I guess right now I'm streaming one game over there, but things will continue to happen. So
Oh,
check me
man,
out over
that game.
there. If you want to know when Celeste's a lot. But I enjoy it. We're running Pirates of Dirtwater, which is a AU pseudo sequel to the Pirates of Bloodwater series over on Devil's Luck. If you want to know when I go live on that, follow me on Twitter.
All right. Jackie.
Hi everybody, I'm Jackie. You can always find me on Twitter at Death by Mage. I am a freelance TTRPG writer and editor, and I am also the creative lead manager for Unbreakable Publishers. We are soon to be releasing Unbreakable Revolution, and so so if you follow us on Twitter at Unbreakable_pub, you can find out when we officially make the announcement of when that thing will come out. I recently also released a Dracula in space game on my itch page, so you can find that on deathbymage.itch.io. If you like snakes on a plane, but with a flavor text of vampires in space, then yes, you will enjoy this game.
All right. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for everybody for joining us. My name is Kevin Myers. I've been your game boss. You can find me at BySonicKevin on Twitter, and you can find my wife's amazing knitwear designs on lattesandllamas.com. I'm sure it's easy enough to find the link if you want. And you can find me here on Tuesdays running riffs at 8 p.m. Eastern. So thank you very much. Sorry I ran a bit late, audience and world. And so let's, do we have a rate?
Yes, we'll be rating the DAT network.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.